You ain't built nothing. Put it together. That's lazy. So I'm saying for man, regardless, right now is the greatest time to get on board because the world is coming here in 2028. The Olympics is coming to LA. People coming from around the world with money, the finest women that you ain't never seen, you ain't never been close to, and they're gonna be looking for the men, not the boys. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, Zero, what say you, brother?
Peace, God. Can you hear me?
Yeah, peace, peace. Yeah.
Peace, peace.
Yeah, peace, peace. Hey, I wanted to add on something to this cipher, right? We were talking about civility earlier in civilian society, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but civility and civil law and civil rule is all respective. There's no constant across
Tom?
planet Earth. I, I lived in Saudi Arabia for some time, and civility in Saudi Arabia is a whole different thing from civility in the United States. And I say that because I believe that civility is a farce as it's being presented to the world. I think everything is feudalism, and civility is just a mask to to cover what is actually still feudalism, because nobody in power lives by civility. Nobody, they all live off of the rules of feudalism. Everybody in power. There's nobody in power that has achieved power over masses of human.
So you
You know,
saying civility is an illusion, or like civility is like feudalism is like the drug, and civility is like the cut to like water it down type stuff.
I think feudalism is the real reality, and civility is the drug that we are taking in. To and what comes with civility is fear, because the only reason why people are civil is because of fear of the upper
Consequence.
echelons or the hierarchy or the repercussions of going outside of whatever the rules are of that civil society. So this is where the fear comes in, right?
Hmm.
Let's take capitalism. I think that a lot of us shrink from our success because, and I'm saying this as a man pushing 60, right? What ends up happening is you go in the world with all of this ambition, you win, you move up a level. You win again, you move up a level. As you ascend these levels, you start realizing that everything is bullshit.
Right,
You know,
right.
what happens is you find yourself locked in a space of where you can't tell that to none of these hungry wolves and pit bulls that's coming up, because they either thinking that you are diverting their attention because you trying to pull a wool over their eyes, or easy. So what ends up happening is when you start discovering those things, you have to kind of sequester yourself and become a hermit, because you start learning truths about what society really is, what the power base really is, how things really work. It's not that people are just shrinking from their success. It's like once you reach a certain level of success, you start realizing the whole game was BS.
Yeah.
You understand? And either what you do is you either break left and you start doing things based on what the majority of the intelligent world is going after now, and that's the great reset, or you start going off of what the antiquated world, the people that are behind, the people who are just looking at their mask, what their master had, and what's the word they say, having a covetous spirit about what their master had, and then they can't really see what's going on, in the greater world. So all of us are arguing about nostalgic things, and we're talking about the Olympics is coming in 2028, while most of the advanced geniuses of the world, they're not even sure if there's going to be a 2028. They're living in the now.
Right.
And they doing that, and in living in the now, that it's a feudalistic approach into live in living with the now. That doesn't, it's the same kind of planning, the same kind of structure. I don't know if you guys follow me, of what I'm saying. I think it's not that it's this overall situation of where we have a fear. It's like once you start getting enlightened, that third eye start getting open, you start seeing how the world really works and how the mechanisms are really flowing. Either you're going to withdraw from that and do things in a whole different manner, or you're going to shut your mouth and keep living the lie. And that's what happens in civil society. You got a bunch of liars in illuminated spaces, moving like leadership because they don't want their bag to get messed up. And that's what it's really all about.
Right, that's a fact. Yo, let me that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yo, shout out to Gemini, said the word is content. Okay. Shout out to Jay Lewis. Jay Lewis said, but these people have to take responsibility in all honesty. Well, that's what we're saying. The thing is that you have a self accountability for what you're doing. At the same time, the thing about it is what Zero is saying is the game is really a whole different game than what people think that it is. It's something much different that's going on than people see, and what people are striving for is an illusion. In other words, but it's the hardest thing to try to explain that to people who don't really get what's going on, right?
Like once you get to the level where you got 3-4 children in college, or you got children ascending, it's because it's not all about you when you're in a family situation anymore either. It's like, what kind of deal did 10 years ago to get my child into this advanced STEM magnet school? Who did I shake hands with? What do I owe them? And when you start having to pay the piper, that's when you start realizing, like, yo, there's some serious demonic, devilish stuff going on here. And you got a decision. In capitalism, you got a decision. You either gonna remain the capital letter, or you're gonna scale down to the small letter. And a lot of people's egos can't do that once they've achieved A, B, C, and D.
But brother, brother, can I jump in, man? Because let's be honest, man. The list that Izzy named, that's still a small number of the millions of brothers who are not nowhere near that successful level when it comes to monetarily. I'm saying the success has to build. Every guy that he named, they all created something. They built something, whether, they bought something. And this is what I'm saying as far as now, as it correlates, because any chance, if you go to college, 4 years, you go to military, 4 years, any skill you get, you can give yourself 4 years. You don't have to pay for it. And I'm saying prepare yourself for the world. The opportunity is there. You already know how all of the brothers that he named, almost at some point, they came after him. Because if anybody tried to make a change, they come after him, is what it is. What I'm saying is, despite all of that, now that the truth has been revealed, now that the Diddy parties are over with, any brother that chooses not to learn a skill, now I'm talking about a single brother. Let me go with the single brothers first. It's the greatest time. The women telling y'all ain't shit to y'all face. Now, some of them are y'all sisters. Y'all grew up with them. I understand. But you have to look at that and go face the world. Go see the world. The world is coming. And if you got your shit together, you got your money right, you ain't got to spend it on that bullshit. Some niggas can probably learn how to sew. You can do it all. And then you can keep your brand clean. And when you get to an age, you want to have some children, you can charge a woman $40,000, $50,000. But you have to prepare yourself for the world. You can't be going around talking about I'm going to get some because, no, get out of that mindset. You want to live righteous, make the connections that people that support you. If not, you have to move different. Jesus moved different. People talked about him. What makes you think y'all niggas won't talk about me? But when we line up the life cycle, we're going to see how we stand up as far as, and it ain't about accomplishments, it's about completions.
But I
It ain't
think
about completion. So
But I think this goes for. I think okay. So I know Zero would agree with you absolutely about skills, developing skills. What he's saying is, I think that's a little different from what you're saying. Is he's saying that the game, that the things that people chase after and the things that people are taught to go seek are not really the valuable things of this life, right? Like
true.
he would agree with you that developing skills as a man and developing works of your hands and but to also be able to be self-sufficient, right? Period. Outside of this system, period, it would be more of a endeavor to do than to be trying to be successful in this system. Thank you, Jay Lewis. Right? Did I put words in your mouth, Zero, or would you agree with that?
So and exactly, and let me piggyback on what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is that we keep trying to. All right. Well, one thing I want y'all to know is, because most people don't understand this, is that if you say the Diddy parties are over, that means that the system has fallen, right? So if the system has fallen, you can't use no part of the system to renew yourself. If the system is dead and you using any dead piece of the system to try to renew yourself, all you doing is prolonging death and despair. And what I'm telling you is that there's a huge there's an innovative section of society that you're not even connected into, because you're still talking about skills and trades and what you got to do within the system. And what I'm trying to tell you is that all civil systems were structured by outlaws. And the reason why it's a civil system is because that outlaw became the dominant factor, or the Thanos of that system, and started putting down laws that everybody under him has had to abide by. That's what civility is, right? But you uphold it, you put it on this pedestal like civility is the way, when Thanos is the one reaping all the benefits. Civility isn't the way.
So can I ask you
America
this?
was founded by outlaws. Russia was founded by outlaws.
Is there
China was
benefit
founded by outlaws.
as social creatures? Because they say we social creatures. Do you think civility has its benefits as being social creatures?
Well, let me now let's get into the blackness of it, right? The equality that we deal with each other as a black family, or as a black community, or as whatever kind of community that we put together, is something that's way beyond civility, and we neutering it by even putting it in the same block as the white man's concept of civility. You understand? His concept of civility is trickery. He's the Thanos, and he's telling us what civility is, and then we're trying to pattern ourselves off of his trickery or his technology concept. When we're supposed to be outlaws, we're supposed to be outside of his laws, but so up on it, so righteous, so upright that we don't need no system that's under nature, that's below nature, to set us straight, to make sure that we deal with our women right, to make sure that we raise our children properly. So then, in fact, it wouldn't be civility. It would be something that's way far more advanced than civility. And just for the lack of better words, we keep trying to put it into that system. And what happens is, if you keep putting it into the civil system, it goes back to, hey, black man, you lazy if you ain't out here getting a job for yourself or a skill for yourself or whatever, right? And what I'm saying is there's whole other levels that you're masking and blocking yourselves off of, because you stay stuck in just what I can obtain in something that was already built before you. You the trendsetter, you the Thanos.
Hold up, brother.
You understand?
Wasn't Jesus a carpenter?
I got to be honest with you, brother. I don't get into all of that, what Jesus was, because I
No,
wasn't
because
there.
I try to model myself
I
as
can't, I
far as
can't,
that.
I can't, I got to be honest with you. I'm not even going to be egotistical and try to answer that question. I'm not even going to try to make that a reality in this conversation because I don't know. You understand? Because every year we find out as we raise up out of Thanos's or somebody's preset level of civility, as we grow and learn more knowledge, we learn more and more and more. I'm like I told you, I'm pushing 60 years ago. Oh, there was a time where you couldn't tell a Negro that Jesus was black. So
Yeah.
now I can't tell you what is what. It's a transforming, constantly shifting concept that I don't really want to have nothing to do with putting myself under because I'm out here dealing with regenerative finance,
You
permaculture,
know,
things like that are advanced
that understood
that are like 30,
too.
40,
So where
50,
would
60, 100
Wait,
year plans.
could I
one
ask
mic,
y'all this?
one
Could I
mic, one
ask
mic.
y'all this? Where would civilization be without us being civil? And I think to Lauren said whiteness, there was civilization, like there was civilization that predates all of that, the quote unquote white stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we had civilization, even animals got civilization, you know what I mean? But I just
No,
want to know,
no, no,
like,
no, 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 no,
animals
no.
animals don't have civilization.
No, animals do not have civilization.
Damn.
You're,
Okay.
One mic.
you're
Wait,
trying to
wait.
put.
One mic.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
let me give
Explain what you mean. Yeah, go ahead, Zero. Go
let
ahead.
me give let me give you an example of what's going on, right? Civil, right? I'm a degreed civil engineer, right?
Mm,
Civil means building social constructs and infrastructure to maintain a certain concept, right? In American Western society, civility is everybody's free. You can do what you want to do. If you got pineapples on your gate, you can swap your wife with other men. If you whatever you want to do in the world, that's what civil society is in the United States, right? In Saudi Arabia, if I did half of the things or even thought about doing the things in Saudi Arabia's civil society, you understand that I would try to do in America's quote unquote civil society, it would be off with my head. I can't smoke weed. I can't do many things in Saudi Arabia that's just in America taken for granted as civil. So what I'm trying to teach you is that it's a respective thing. It's not universal, right? Animal and
It's
natural
human
law.
rights.
Wait,
That
hold on,
is,
hold on, Cash Kid. Let him finish
yeah,
first.
because
Let
his
him
mic
finish.
kind of
Animal,
crazy if he
animal,
talk.
Please,
animal,
please finish.
Animals and natural law
like,
is a universally based law. It's based off of this, right? I'm gonna say something very simple to you, right? It's called the order of succession, right?
Mm,
So this brother just brought up Jesus to me, right? The reason why I can't put Jesus into a higher sphere than I can my grandfather or my father is this, right? This is very simple, right? If a tree puts out oxygen to sustain a human being, that tree becomes your sustainer, right?
okay.
If if the tree is sustained by the sun, the tree's sustainer is the sunlight, the photosynthesis, so on and so forth, right? I come from an indigenous people, right? So things are very basic to us, right? We're not gonna plug a man or a concept just because it was thousands of years of indoctrination into the place and put him before the sun. Ain't no God, human being on the planet, nowhere in existence on planet Earth that sustains human beings greater than the sun. There's no better example on the planet Earth
Your mic is
of
sound
the Most
crazy.
High, the sun in the sky, right? But if I told you I worship the sun, most people would say I'm a heathen but I'm crazy, right? So can a Jesus exist without the sun? Can a Muhammad
No,
exist without the sun? You
no.
understand? So what I'm telling you is these concepts that the white man embed in our head, like civility and all of this other BS, are not the transliterated word for word equals, just like how you tried to equate the way animals do to civility is not. That's them. Civility don't exist outside of the white man's language and his
No,
definition
bro.
of what civility is.
All right, give
No,
me 1 second.
That's
Okay,
not.
hold on real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me let Cash Kid get in there.
Yes,
Coach Bird, I need you to take care of that balance with me, please, if you don't
I
mind.
got you.
Go ahead, Cash Kid, and then Coach Bird, you got next, and then let me read these comments after that, and then we're gonna open it up. I know DJ Wishdoctor wanted to address that as well. So go ahead, Cash Kid, briefly, and then Coach Bird, and then DJ Wishdoctor. Oh, let me read, and then DJ Wishdoctor, you got it. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think what he pointed to, or at least he was trying to point to, was human rights versus civil rights, right? And again, I keep bringing this up. This was the difference between even Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King made it a civil rights movement where it's like a domestic thing within the country, right? Where Malcolm X was talking about this is a human rights thing where the whole world has to get involved. UN has to get involved. Africa has to get involved. So civil rights changed, like the brother Zero was talking about. But human rights are universal, right? And civility now can be. The first thing he said was like the most impactful thing he said. He said civility is a farce. So again, people are lazy more than they are fearful, and the biggest fear they have is letting go of their laziness, just exerting themselves. And laziness, by definition, is the unwillingness to exert effort. So this
But hold on,
basically that's what it comes down to.
no. You trying to use that in order to prove a point that is a moot point in his particular scenario, right? Because in his particular scenario, laziness is a product of the society that you live in and living by societal norms and societal rules. What Zero is talking about is creating your own quote unquote society, creating your own quote unquote system and living beyond what is the overall majority society situation that we're talking about. That's what Zero's speaking of. So your concept of lazy is what he's trying to get you to understand is a concept that is based on a Europeanized or a weaponized propaganda in order to get you to produce more for the system. So that's basically what he's saying. He's trying to get you to understand that it's not about lazy. If you're working for your own self substance, if you're working for your own yourself for your life and to sustain yourself, then there is no such thing as lazy.
Right,
Yeah,
and
wait.
so
When I say
so and let me let me let me
when I say
let me just
I mean in all
Wait, hold
spheres
on,
of
Zero.
life, right?
Hold on, Zero. Real quick. What's the cat kid? Huh? Real quick. What's that?
So lazy, I don't mean like lazy not working. Yeah, you don't have to work for the man, but you are unwilling to exert yourself to think of how to maintain yourself. The laziness is, I'm talking about laziness to think for yourself, laziness to go outside of the system and work for yourself, laziness to find this information that is actually needful. Because among 10, maybe 2 are not lazy, will put in the required effort to actually go, they will go out of their way, so to speak, to better themselves. So,
But you're
and as
talking
you
about
said
the
something about
bettering yourself,
society, and you said
better
something about society, right? Even in the
bettering
passage,
yourself.
he
Hold on,
said,
real
I
quick.
mean,
Bettering yourself
I didn't want
in
to.
hold on real quick, Cash Kid. Bettering yourself in a society that is not that is based in your detriment and not based in your
I
well-being
got you.
is an
I
exercise in
got you.
futility.
I got you. But even in the passage, the complete passage where I got this, right? He's talking about everyone is saying about lazy people, right? People are lazier than they are fearful, right? Everybody, the complete passage. I wish I could pull it up. Maybe I'll put it up in the back
I
chat.
think there's
It
more
says
fearful people than lazy people. My bad.
Absolutely, without question.
everybody. Yeah, the
He's going
passage is
down.
Schopenhauer as educator. The passage is Schopenhauer as educator. Maybe you can look it up. So it says
Right.
everybody in society looks to their neighbor, who looks to them. They cloak themselves in conformity. So this illusion of of society, of civility, of looking to your neighbor instead of looking within yourself. That's the laziness he's talking about. And everybody has this calling. Everybody knows that they're alone in this world. They are unique. They're never going to happen again, right? There's never going to be another copy of themselves. But yet they look to religion. They look to laws that, go a few hundred miles that way. They're no longer applicable. So all these things are just excuses. If you really wanted to listen to the calling of your soul, to awaken to the dream that you have within, none of it can stop you. So that's what he's saying. People are just lazy in the end.
Thank you, Coach Ferg. Go ahead, Coach Ferg. What say you, brother? Appreciate
So,
you paying attention. Wait, hold
so,
on, real quick.
so let
Zero.
me
I
say
apologize.
this, right?
Oh,
My
zero. 1 second. I apologize, bro. I gotta let Coach Ferg. He been waiting patiently. Let him get in. I'm gonna let you get back in because I'm definitely interested in what you gotta say, Zero. Go ahead, Coach Ferg. You got it. Thank you.
And this is, I think, what we're saying is true on the same. He's on one side, he's on the right, and I'm on the left with it, right? Because in America, he's true. We the people of the sun. We all got big nose, big lips. That's why we're here. But what I'm saying is, in America, under the dynamic of the way it's played out, it's very important for any young man to gain knowledge of something greater than himself. It's very important. He has to get that skill, even in school. If you went to school in America, you know what it is. If you didn't, I can understand. But if you went through elementary, middle school, high school in America, graduated, got a trade, it's important as a man that you maintain that through the youngest times of your life. So when you get to an age of maturity, 50, 60, you can sit back. You ain't got to work as hard. Whether you go to traditional school, whether you go to truck driving school, carpenter school, military, you must obtain something to that degree so you can have your family, have your house. Even if you don't get married, you'll be able to buy yourself a house.
But let me say this, Coach Ferg. Y'all are really talking about two. You're right. You're on one end of the spectrum. He's on another end of the spectrum. Let me just say, because I know of both of y'all, I'm very familiar with what both of y'all stand for, right? What you're talking about, Coach Ferg, is within this system that we live in, right? And being able to get a pocket of happiness or a pocket of life of living within the system. What Zero is talking about is being outside of this system altogether. He doesn't even live in America anymore, just for the record. So he's talking about outside of this system. And to Zero, the Americas is a big place. The Americas is not just the 50, right. So when he says that, he's talking about sustaining your own life, cultivating your own food, cultivating your own system, cultivating your own tribe, and living outside. That's what it means an outlaw, meaning outside of the laws of this particular system is what he's speaking of. So that's the standpoint. So he's not talking about anything about getting a job. He's not talking about anything as far as trying to get a pocket of happiness within the system. Nothing that he's saying has anything to do with any of that.
No, but it is, in a sense, he's talking getting to a place where you can create your own and control your own life and building. That's what he's doing. And that's the same thing. A brother has to start somewhere. We hear all the time, nobody taught me shit. That's what brothers say all the time. I'm saying when you realize that, you start putting yourself in position to move a little different, study a little different, learn those skills that elevate you. I know former people that was strung out on drugs bad, and they ended up being teachers, chef teachers. So anybody can change. It's just when you put that third eye on whatever age you are as a brother, you have to think beyond the 10-block radius of your street about what happened to you growing up. You have to be able to live and create your own dynamic in the world. My brother's doing what I wish every brother can do, but fear prevents them from expounding on it. So I'm just saying, no more fear, fellas.
Coach,
No more fear.
I just want you to know, Coach, that I'm not. I want to bring something to your attention, right? From my perspective, right? The same old argument that you gotta start somewhere in my perception, is a big part of the laziness, right? Because you're in a system that is gone, right? You don't realize it's gone because you're still kind of dealing with the ghosts, the apparitions of what's left over. So you think trucking is real, you
Brother, say
think plumbing
people.
is
Say
real.
people. Say
Wait,
people.
one second, Coach. One mic.
I'm just saying, period.
Say people.
Period. It's just, I'm just saying, period. You understand? People think that those things are real, but in the same sense, there's something going on right now called the Great Reset that most people aren't aligning themselves to. And in that Great Reset, they're negotiating something called UBI, or Universal Basic Income, for all of what they consider the useless eaters, right? These are people that don't contribute to society. These are people right now who are not standing up and becoming outlaws and going out into other countries, other fields, and pioneering realities based on the new demands of human society, right? So a parochial person, if y'all know what that word means, parochial just means local. A local person is just going to localize his reality to where he is and say that this is the reality and nothing else exists, right? But now we're getting into the position of where we're talking about, like the brother was talking about, human rights and universal rights and universal systems, are where that parochial thinking is very lazy, and it will not go anywhere, and it will not do anything for anybody outside of the next 5 or 10 years, right? If you're thinking about a 30, 40, 20-year plan, right, you got to start getting into what they call the new waves, right? The majority of black folks in America are very fearful of crypto because some white man in civil society told them it was a scam because it didn't work for him. But they didn't go and check out other case studies in Africa, in Central America, amongst indigenous communities where crypto is working, where these communities have their own money, where these communities have flipped from indigence into like a whole new reality since 2020, my friend. I'm not talking about something that's hard. I'm saying that if you put on blinders and mask yourself, don't get out here and start figuring out innovation and what's going on, what the new wave is, if you're investing into a bunch of old dead bones, zombie socioeconomic systems, you're going to fall and die with those socioeconomic systems. We're in a great day right now because this is a time where anything you imagine that you can think of, you can actually put together a tight squad that can realize it, and you can be living your dream, right? I'm not out here like weighing what I do against what other people do. I'm just saying is if you keep doing it the way you're doing it, you're gonna stay attached to the paper chain, and that paper chain is not a real chain that can hold you down. That's the laziness. The laziness is that people aren't going out here learning how to recode and they're a completely new matrix. I came down to where I am now, and I saw that the village people didn't have water. So the first thing I did was I put together a team of brothers, just regular brothers, took a little bit of money from all of them and said, yo, let's put in a water system where we can figure out how to get clean, fresh water and service all of these communities. And that's what we're doing. So that's infrastructure, right? Trading and coding has nothing to do with infrastructure. Those are the levels those are service jobs. And if you got a slave mentality, you're going to keep tuning yourself to service jobs. You're not going to be out here dealing with regenerative finance, water, the basics, right? I just did a thesis at the University of Belize based on what wealth is, right? Most people think wealth is dollars, right? Financial capital is only one of a number of different capitals. There's natural capital, there's experiential capital, there's all types of capitals that you can monetize in this day and time that most people aren't because they still stuck on the same old grid that didn't work. The reason why the white man jumped off that lily pad is because it didn't work for him. And what ends up happening is the black man is always sitting with the waste of something that didn't work for the white man, talking about, hey, now is an opportune time for us to get into it because they're not blocking it. No, it's not an opportune time to get into it. It's a reset, and you got to be outlaws and start thinking totally outside the box. You can't be FBA and isolating yourself into like little insular groups that have no international connections. You have to start connecting with people around the world, interacting and figuring out what's going on out here to make sure that your children are going to have food in their mouth, and not only have food in their mouth, but be out here dominating society. There's an opportunity to do it. But most of the things that you're supposed to be into to do it, you think it's some kind of scam thing, or it's not a reality to you. And I'm not saying just you, brother. I'm just saying overall. It's the way that civil society projects this to you. Like, it won't work for you, but yet they down here. That's all I see is white people down here doing the same thing that they told you was a scam.
Gotcha.
In Central America, South America, Asia, because I'm in Asia like 5 months out of the year, in South Asia, all through Thailand and Vietnam, and all you see is these, white faces doing for the past 30 years. They've been doing the things that they're telling you is a scam, and you're falling for it because you're in civil society and you're listening to the propagandas, and you don't realize that there are major things out there that can turn it. I'm talking about turn your wealth, turn your whole fortune onto a whole nother level. You earn money to buy resources. So why not put yourself where the resources are? If you stay in isolated societies or where you have to go through all of these chains, these custody chains to get to the resources, well, you don't always be the lowest man on the totem pole. But if you get up, put your big boy pants on and get with a group of cadre and go where there are resources that you can access, that you can actually buy for pennies of the dollar right now, get you in a position of where everybody's running and looking for sources of their water to have some fresh, clean water sources.
So you're talking about on the lines of like sovereignty?
It's beyond sovereignty, because that's another legal word. That's another capture word, right? So in the sense of what sovereignty means, yes, but not in the legal sense of what white people made it out to be.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
No.
hold on, zero.
Because the average-
Zero. Give me
Uh-huh.
1 second. I apologize because you're so brilliant that a lot of times a lot of things that you say go over most people's heads. So if you would
Just
permit
stop me.
I got you. So hold on real quick. If you would permit me, as a brother that love you and that really appreciates the information that you're giving, if you would permit me to make it a little more palatable for others listening. So let me ask you a quick yes or no question, really. And then I gotta let DJ Wish Doctor get in here as well, and then I gotta welcome some more people. Okay. So are you basically saying beyond the continual United States? Is that basically what you're speaking out, getting outside of the United States?
That corporation was dissolved back during when the Patriot Act was signed.
I got you, zero.
So you get what I'm saying? That's my answer to the question.
No, but I mean, are you saying, but brother, but you know what I'm saying? Are you saying getting out of this land mass that they have called that? Is that what you're speaking of?
What I'm saying is that because I gotta say it the way I'm saying it, it kind of temper with what you're saying, right? What I'm saying is that hasn't existed for some time, and you think it does. And look, my background, like I said, I'm retired government, right? A big thing 30 years ago in the government was when everybody started putting their retirement plans together, I started seeing that people were getting the hell out of quote unquote urban centers, getting out of Dodge. So whether it's if you go into a place where there's no like urban metropolis infrastructure, or whether it's you just actually leaving the country. My plan was tailored to go somewhere where food and all of that is just already growing off of the trees, so it wouldn't take me a lot to put what I needed to put into place. So that's why I chose to be where I am. So that could be out the country. But there's a lot of places, wild lands, because again, with civility, they make you believe that they are the total controllers of the universe. And there's a lot of places in America that they have not conquered, right? There's documentaries on YouTube right now talking about people that's just getting up, giving up everything, getting RVs, buses, and going out to deserts and forests and all of that, and just living like the free nomadic life in places that it take at least 2 hours to get to. You understand what I'm saying? So, like with me, somebody, an American came down to me and asked me, like, "Yo, why did you decide to be where you are?" And I said, because I have the high ground, and it take any type of police, military, or whatever to get to me, and I'm in a place where that stuff is not strong. You know, that sense of nationality and people trying to enforce jackbootery on you is not strong. So it's like I put myself in a position of where I'm not even combating that. So now, in the past 10 years, I've been able to do tons of food that I wouldn't have been able to grow marching around the street asking for freedom. You understand? So you can leave the country, or you could go somewhere that's outside of the urban metropolis to the eye of Big Brother. You understand? But whatever you choose to do is just got to be well planned, and now's the time to do it. You understand? Man, I swear I wish I would just really study, and then I wouldn't have to I don't want to have to scale down what I'm saying, the truth of what I'm saying, because you're not up on it. So the reason why I speak the way I speak is because I want you to get up out here and get up on it and start searching YouTube, start searching that people already got their own currencies. Like now, dollars, like spun gold dollars, $10 that's made out of gold. They trading that in the Western United States in regions where there's not a lot of infrastructure. There's a lot going on in the middle of the United States that will blow your mind when it comes to quote unquote sovereignty and people putting together communities and doing for themselves. The key is resources, food, water, the basics that you need. If you have those things, and then if you have good cadre to protect those things, or good cover and good grounds to hide it, then you're in a good position. You know what I'm saying? But that's just one part of it. The other part of it is dematerialization. I'm throwing out words because if you are stupid, you're gonna write it down.
If you what?
Materialization.
If what?
Regenerative finance. Carbon
Astute.
dematerialization.
Yeah, you kind of breaking up. You kind of breaking up.
Carbon dematerialization.
What does that mean?
So what happens is that if you own land, right? And, I got certified 10 years ago when everybody was talking about trades. I went and got certified as something that was very obscure, and that was how to calculate greenhouse gas emissions on your land. So what happens is if you're able to validate and verify the exact amount of carbon that your land is able to draw in from the atmosphere as a carbon sink, you can go and dematerialize it and turn it into a certification that can be traded on the stock market. So now you have big companies like Netflix, Walmart, or whatever. They might go over their allotment of carbon credits for the year. So they need to go buy certificates to kind of rebalance what it is that they're supposed to do to be within compliance. So if you have those, if you have those certificates, you understand it, tried and proven, and everything has gone through all of the certification processes that it's gone through. People are paying you just for having land where you didn't cut trees down. So what I've invested in over the last 20 years is a bioreserve system where all I'm doing is buying conservation land and keeping it pristine. And I've only developed 5 acres of it for myself and the science center and other things that we got going on here. But we're making money just having the land from all of these corporations buying our carbon offsets. That's what they call them. So there's another thing called regenerative finance, right? Everybody is wanting to invest in actual things now. Like the United States government, money in the States is speculative. It's not operative, right? Our ancestors were operative, right? Food is food. You trade it for something of equal or greater value, whatever the value the two people in the exchange set it up to be, right? You still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, I'm sorry. My phone was acting funny. So what ends up happening is that uh uh you starting to see booms in permaculture, booms in people trying to figure out how to produce as much food as possible within 1 square acre of land. All of this stuff, man, it's like whole new industry. It's not even new. It's just a boom, because everybody is realizing that we can no longer keep these uh, uh these chains. What do they call it? These uh exchanges together, or where we can keep feeding people and keep grocery stores stacked. So what we're starting to do is invest in communities that can feed uh, uh, places and nodes. So like you got all kinds of investment dollars going into that. Of course, there's crypto, where that's something that's where and digital digital automatized organizations, and man, there's all kinds of stuff going on out here that people are just not into, because the black man in America was cheated or bamboozled out of science when he was the scientist of the world. All of this stuff that they into now is what your average great grandparent and ancestors was masters of just a few generations ago, and now they're coming in and putting new faces on top of it, and you don't have a clue of what's going on. The average
Right. That's
Rasta man is a sovereign.
what got you. Good. One second. So Apple and Jay had a question about leaving the country. I think. Go ahead. Go ahead, Apple and Jay. What's the question?
Hi, shout out to the panel.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Izzy.
Shout out to you.
I to Brother Zero. I have a question. Lately, my few of my family members and I, we have been talking about seriously leaving the United States, and we've been looking at a few places and researching a few places. My question to you is, what would be some of your suggestions based on, economic safety, family, all these type of things,
If you're
um,
uninitiated too, though, Zero. If you're uninitiated, that's the whole
Uh,
thing too.
all right, so
that we have knowledge of some of things, but we're not initiated. And we are definitely seriously, really wanting to leave this place. We looked at some places like Thailand, we looked at some places like Ghana, but those are like, I'm like, no, I want to go somewhere where I'm really with the community, where I feel safe, where I'm, seasoned, and I'm just really, really, really concerned. But our our decision is to leave here,
Well,
and
hold on real quick. Taylor, when I say uninitiated, what I'm saying is people that don't really know how to grow their own food per se, people that don't really know survival
right,
in the wild type aspects, people who are not initiated into those sciences of
right,
how to cultivate water, how to delete their food and properly clean their food and stuff like that. That's what I mean in this particular sense when I say
absolutely,
uninitiated. Go ahead,
yeah,
I
Zero.
get
You got it.
shadow ban out of FBA groups a lot for what I'm about to tell you, right?
Oh well,
Um,
I don't want to get shadow banned. You put it
no,
back.
I said FBA groups.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
they shadow ban me, right?
yeah,
Okay.
FDA,
So
yes,
so I'm gonna tell you something that's just real, right? Um, Black American ancestors in the percentage of the Buffalo Soldiers have established familial connections all throughout the Americas, right? The Buffalo Soldiers was the reason why the United States won the Spanish American War, right? They was able to see Cuba, Florida, all of the southern countries in the United States, the Philippines, places throughout Central America, different islands throughout the Caribbean, right? So it's a lethal mistake of separating yourself or isolating yourself as an American from the rest of the Americas, right?
Mhm.
Jamaicans and Caribbean people been in the United States, been in part of the Black Civil Rights Movement since its inception. Yeah, that's just real. So
Mhm.
all of this new fangled movement of trying to say, "Hey, you're different than us. We not the same. It's something else going on." That's malarkey, right?
Mhm.
So I would say is if you speak Spanish, if you speak Thai, um, if you speak whatever language, whatever the places you're looking at, if you speak the language, that is a huge plus. If you don't, there are a bunch of American uh, places that have had ties with Americans where English is very prominent all throughout the Americas, where they open arms, it's easy to acquire land and establish and
What are
settle
some
your.
of those? What are those places? Or what are those? Where are those places?
Well, can I
Yes.
let me? I can't throw it. Let me throw it the way I want to throw it, so that y'all can go do the research, because it's like it's not you. Look, man, I don't believe that the game is to be sold, not told. But I just think that if you cast pearls before swine, they're gonna crush them beneath their feet. So I'm
Nah, but
giving you
I got you. But she's trying to ask you a very direct question.
Yeah.
I
right, and
understand.
I'm telling her the exact research things that she needs to know. If she's asking a question, she got a pen and a paper in hand,
I
and she's gonna
definitely
go.
do. I
She's
definitely
gonna go.
do.
She's gonna go research the places throughout the Americas where
Yeah,
English is prominent,
yeah,
dominant. She's going to research the national systems, the police forces,
yes,
the land rights. She's going to do it herself. I can't
yeah.
give it to you, because if
Can
I
I
give
ask
it
a
to you,
question?
what happens is if I give it to you, what's going to happen is this, and I'm gonna just say this and fall back. 'Cause I used to go out and give it to everybody, right? And I've seen like hundreds of people just rush here to certain places and come down here and just boom, I'm just do this without no kind of research
Organization. Yeah,
methodology and game plan to put this in effect, and that was my fault because they failed.
yeah. That's true.
I do think a lot of stuff you're saying is needed. But what I would say is a lot of people, the reason why some people don't follow through with certain things because is songs it don't I think people need a little bit more simplified version of what you're saying. Like I could tell that you
It
know what
can't
you're
and,
talking
and
about,
it
but
can't be
because of the
simplified,
audio
and I'm
and the
gonna tell you
passion.
why. Let me
Mm.
drop to you
Wait,
why I
wait, wait.
said that.
Hold on, Zero. Hold on, Zero. Let him finish first, and
Okay,
then you got.
all right,
Well, I
all right.
appreciate.
Because
Go,
of
go ahead.
your audio is a kind of little shaky, and because of the passion you got for the topic and the in-depth information you have, when you combine all of that together, sometimes when you talking it lose some people, and I don't think they intentionally trying to be lost, because in the chat people are actually asking questions. So I think sometimes, because I'm from the conscious community, right? And what I would say, a lot of the brothers who simplified what they're saying, a lot of them people follow more what they're saying, and I don't mean follow as like following and leading. I mean like comprehend what you're saying.
All right, now
Yeah,
let me answer that. A lot of the people in the conscious community that break down what they're saying without really looking at the rhyme or reason or why I'm saying it, find themselves with a bunch of people that are surrounding a cult of personality and ego complex. You understand, where they didn't come as pioneers to do it for themselves. I'm telling you this in a specific way. And I'm sorry about my sound. I'll fix that later. But I'm on satellite, so I'm in the jungle. So
Okay.
Mhm.
so the reality is this, right? I'm telling you what I'm telling you so that you can research it, because you have to have a blood link, a blood tie, and a reason for being wherever you choose to be there. Because if you don't make that, I'm not a nature boy. I'm not trying to raise people up to come
but
follow me or do nothing. Matter of fact, I'm a hermit. I'm gonna meet you when you come down and have done a bunch for yourself, and I'm like, this is somebody I can add to my cadre. At this
And can
point,
I
it's
say
for
something?
you.
Can I? Am I allowed to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Um.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
With all due respect here. Okay. So the first of all, trust me, you are not casting pearls upon swine. I'm very knowledgeable of a lot of things, and I do a lot of research. I respect your knowledge, and that's the only reason I'm here asking you this question.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that I have to have a why. I know that I have to have a where. I know that I have to have a budget. I know that I have to be very, very conscious of my movements and where I'm going, my safety, my family's safety. And, a lot of us, especially at my age, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we don't have, I can speak for me, I don't have brothers in my life
Mm-hmm.
that can say, sister, this is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I see that you're serious. I
Yeah.
see that your loved ones are serious. Let me give you some guidance. And
Okay.
that's all I'm here asking for guidance because I'm
Okay.
really serious about leaving this place.
So,
And I
sister,
want to
can
be
I?
safe. I
So
want to
how
be
about not?
amongst people that love me,
Yeah.
people that think like me. I don't want to be ostracized because I don't know the language. All
No.
those
No.
things we are considering. And I just
Well,
need you to feel what
the majority of that is not going to be. A majority of that are going to be crucibles that you're going to have to go to, unless you have a cadre around you that's ready to move with you to make you feel good in all of those ways you want to feel good, right? When you're talking about exoduses and moving and pioneering and
hmm
homesteading and off grid and things like that,
making
that is
hijrahs.
that's a hard it's not like you're not gonna it's no soft way to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Ma'am,
we
can I
know
ask you a
this.
question? Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
What are you scared of
What am I scared of?
right
I don't,
now
I'm,
in reference to what you're trying to do, what you've been thinking about, what you've been sort of probably just imagining yourself? What are you afraid of at this point?
I mean, I want to go with knowledge. I don't want to say that I fear anything. I mean, I just want to know that the movement that we're making and the places that we're going are places that's sustainable to me and my family.
Okay, so to what my man was saying, in a sense, right? Do your research, pick out some places where it has the modern language that you speak, right? Unless everybody's willing to learn the new language, that's a challenge that you have to think about. Also, he gave you clues to study. Just go the laws, the police,
Yes.
the living area, the type of food you're going to eat. Because most people, you
hmm
can't go to the supermarket. You got to sort of go to the open market,
Right.
and
hmm
so you got to consider all of those things, health
Yeah, that was
issues,
awesome information.
medical.
That was
Yeah,
awesome. That was
but
awesome.
Yeah,
find a
because
location. Don't be scared at this point. Just go. If you believe it in your heart, think about it. In the States, you see what we get, and you're in a place now where you need more peace and relaxation, and just understand you may have to do some hands-on chores. It's part of the nature of it. But don't be
Yeah.
afraid now. Just
Wow.
just figure it out over the next year or two, next summer. Take all your family that you know is going to be 100% committed to building what you're trying to do, then
hmm
take a chance.
Yes, and
and
that's what
here's
I told.
something to consider to take into consideration, right?
Mm-hmm.
The average American wants things in convenient, right? There's convenience store. You're programmed. No matter how strong you think your mind is, everything that you pretty much want to do, the changes and exchanges that you have in life are convenient, right? There are no McDonald's where I am. There are no Home Depots where I am.
Don't
If I
want them.
want wood, if I want wood, I gotta fell a tree and use a sawmill to create the boards. So what I'm telling you is that the average person that you talk to and that you interact on this level is gonna have a certain energy that y'all just not gonna like because it's not sweet, it's not super convenient. You understand? The average
But
indigenous person that you
brother
interact with.
Zero, brother Zero, I have to push back on you with that. know some strong people. I've been around a lot of conscious people, and I know what you're
Right.
saying. I know how they move. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
it's
We
not.
don't.
But hold on, Jay Lewis. It's not the same. But what he's trying to get you to
Exactly.
understand. Hold on, real quick. I got you, Zero. What he's trying to
He'll
get you
Okay.
go
to
up
understand.
to go
One
cut down
second.
the tree.
No, no, no. What
It's
he's trying
true.
to get you to hold on, y'all. What he's
Hmm.
trying to get you to understand. This is why I was trying to interpret because, and he's telling me not to give it to you, bro. But the reason why I'm trying to
No,
give
I
it to you the way
appreciate it. I
the way
do.
I'm trying to give it to y'all is what he's saying is on a whole different level. What he's talking about is survival on a basic
On a
human
primal
level,
level. Yeah.
on a primal
Right.
level, right, right.
Got you on the
And and
primal
and,
level.
and,
One
and so
correction. One
say what?
correction. One
Go ahead.
correction. It started on a primal level, but it's way more advanced than what you live in now.
No, I know that
Right.
Zero. But what I'm saying,
Right.
Zero. But this is the thing: when any of us come to whatever place similar to you or even to your place, we're not going to be coming in on the level that you're at because you've been doing
Right.
what you've been doing for years. We're going to come
Right.
in on a very
Basic.
basic level. And
Right.
so the thing is, there has to be a filter for people who
Okay.
don't have any kind of
All
point
right.
of
Right.
reference
Right.
for what
So the
you even
Buffalo
speaking up on
Soldiers
the
were
basic level.
so the Buffalo Soldiers are cowboys, right? The Rastaman, right? The average Rastaman, you understand that's in and out, that's up in the hills, and that just goes, to America, to the city to work and go back and forth,
Some
knows
nice.
exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
So if you want to interface with a bunch of people that kind of are more on that level, that's who you interface with. You interface with the people that's out here having the black rodeos, that been in Texas and the American Southwest and the South for many years, living this way of life. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, as goofy as y'all think a lot of these people are in the South, most of them have been back and forth, in and out.
You break it up
You're
in and out.
breaking up. You
You
out.
broke up. You broke up in and out of what? I guess he's saying in and out of the Americas. But he'll be back. Yo, what's up, Nigel? What's going on, man? How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Doing well and yourself? How's it going?
I wouldn't have no complaints at all. Hello to everybody else on the panel. What up, Coach Ferg? What up, Witch Doctor?
What's up, Nigel?
What up,
Everybody
Nat?
else.
And Izzy, I understand. I appreciate you. Simplifying it, but I do understand the brother and where he's coming from. And I mean, I'm just serious about it, and I'm not interested in going to a grocery store. I want my homegrown food where you could go to your yard and you could pull it from right there from the earth. This all this other stuff here, the way we're living is doing nothing but killing us. And the air we breathe, all of it.
Thank you.
Economically, you know, people are living from paycheck to paycheck, or no check at all. And this is not living. This is not living.
All right. Hey, Nigel, go ahead, brother. I apologize. Go ahead. What say you, Nigel?
No,
Welcome
no,
to the show.
I'm just checking in. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay, we were basically the overall question was why are you so scared of winning, right? And then now we're talking about basically living, but living pretty much outside of this system that we've established is already a collapsed system. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and just kind of speaking on that.
Mm. I think we so far away from nature, and we have adapted to this concrete jungle. We're not hunter gatherers. We're not going to do those things with the young people to where we push them out into the jungle with a spear and tell them bring food back. So we way away from nature. I don't think a lot of people listen to Elijah when he said how to eat to live. I don't think a lot of people listen to Dr. Sabi. I just think we just are lost in the forest for the most part. And yeah, even if you grow your own whatever, if you think about things like Monsanto's, they say the germs that they have come over
Mhm.
into your crops and corrupt your own crops. So they put in factory farm fish into the
That's
ocean.
propaganda, brother.
Mhm.
1 second, let them finish though, real quick. Zero, let them finish. Go ahead. I apologize, Nigel. You got it. Go ahead. You can finish your statement. My bad.
Uh, no, I want him to rock. What do you mean by his propaganda?
That's propaganda, man. So what's happening is that what I was talking to y'all earlier about the Great Reset, right? And the Great Reset is a response to human consciousness, right? When more people start realizing that the quote unquote civil matrices or systems that they living in are BS, can't really protect them, can't do nothing for them, have falling, crumbling infrastructures, they start making more moves to consciously go out and do things themselves. So what you got in the United States, you have something called Operation Mockingbird that's been going on since pretty much TV was in inception, was created, where these news agencies and these organizations that aren't independent are putting out information to deter you from going and doing things you should have been doing 20 years ago. They've been putting that out. That propaganda has been going on for 20 and 30 years because they was scared in the year 2000 that a lot of people was going to stop making the dash and society was going to collapse. Then and they started building up more and more and talking about these terms. Look, everything that they do is on a limited basis and it cannot compare to nature. This is something I was trying to explain to the brother earlier. There's no direct transliteration from natural law into anything that the white man has conceived in his language, in his culture, in his mentality, and fed back to you to make you think you're intelligent. And that's what we're dealing with. You understand?
I
As
have a
long as you
question for you. I have a question for you. In these cities that we lived in that's covered in concrete, do you believe that soil is not corrupted? Do you think it's not like depleted of all the nutrients? Do you believe you don't have to put a bunch of eggs and every single thing else in the soil to even make it be somewhat close to natural? Or do you think
I know that with regenerative agriculture and certain processes, you can get any depleted soil back into play within 10 years, you understand, with constant work. And I've seen people do it in 5.
Yeah, you could plant eggs. You could plant like eggs. You could put you could refertilize the cell. He right.
So it's about soil depletion, right? So it's like what you have to understand is this, right? If you do not maintenance any of those infrastructures, they will be overgrown within 5-10 years, and plants to be busting through the concrete.
right?
So don't you believe that they
Right.
go ahead.
That's the question I asked you. So I'm just talking about to get it back to healthy earth. You said 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, even less than that if it's more concentrated, focused people. But that's just 5 to 10 years is only based on a fugitive group of people who've gone out here and pioneered and tested it themselves. If everybody was focused on doing this, man, you can have this stuff to give it because the earth doesn't work the way that most people think the earth works. You understand? Like the white man can't come and just contaminate everything. You understand? He don't have that power. He wants you to think he's Thanos. So he puts out a certain type of imagery and you're like, oh, despair. The water's not clean. I can't drink it straight out. So I got to buy bottled water. So over the years, y'all let them bamboozle you over the last like 20, 30 years where y'all constantly buying bottled water
Plastic particles.
and they getting that out of the tap.
Mhm.
You
Right.
understand? So the thing is they're trying to juice you. It's just like the Matrix movie. They're trying to plug into you and take your life force and your intelligence and make you think that things are a certain way so that you will be in a fearful state and you won't go dare to put your hands into the mycelium mandala to feel the earth for yourself.
Cool. So I said 2 things. I said How to Eat to Live. When did that come out? 20, 30 years ago?
Longer than that.
I'm not sure.
Dr. Say
How to Eat to Live came out in the
how
60s.
long ago?
A long time
And they
ago.
were talking about getting the soil together that long ago. So it was like 92, 93 when I heard about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was like in the
And then
60s.
also you got to understand, Dr. Sebi comes from Mosquiti people. There's indigenous communities all throughout Central and South America that have been living and doing these things that people hold up on a pedestal in the United States for centuries. You understand? And he got that from his grandmother, who was a Mosquiti woman, you understand, who survived the Holocausto Silencio. That's a whole nother thing that I could put y'all on to help y'all understand, you know, what's going on and why they purposely want you to be disconnected from the bread baskets in the Americas. You understand? Because they don't want you to be able to eat good food. You understand? Because you won't think in your right mind if you're not eating and taking in the proper foods and if you're not grounded on the proper grounds. All of this Monsanto, Amanto stuff, man, that's not real. The earth is the ultimate is it trumps anything that a man is trying to do. Yes, he can disrupt it. He can disrupt areas. He can disrupt gene pools. But there's something in nature called homeostasis where everything always corrects itself in a very short amount of time.
So you don't
Okay.
think these
So with that being said,
One,
I'm
one
sorry.
second, Opulent J. Nigel, go ahead, finish Nigel, and then Opulent, you got next. Go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah, I think I'm talking to Zero if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So
yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
you're constantly trying to corrupt the soil.
Say again, my friend.
Do you not think that the white man, as you said, is not constantly trying to corrupt the soil, corrupt the oceans and everything else?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this: that his corruption. So think of it like this, right? Think of finite and infinite, right? His corruption is a finite concept, is a finite ability, right? Nature is not finite. You understand? Nature will always reset and correct itself, right? What's happening is that if you want to survive and live, you don't want to be human centric. Our minds are poisoned because everything we do is human centric. You want to be ecocentric. You want to go where it's easy to do anything, where food is already growing, where nature is already vibrant. If you put yourself in places where they've depleted it just for the fact that they want to control it and make you believe that you're disconnected from it, well, of course you're going to have all of these fears and reservations about how to do a thing, because that's what it is. That's what a city is. That's what civil is. Civil engineering is destroying ecosystems and building a system where you can have a slave workforce in a pyramid hierarchy work for you and invest their time, energy, and natural currency into everything that you want to do, and you give them a piece of paper that don't mean nothing so that they can come back and buy what they was already connected to from you. That don't make sense.
Interesting. Yeah. And this brings me back to my point. I'm, at a point, well, I'm there where I just want to get out of this system, get out of this rat race, get out of this matrix. And I'm asking for those that know that they know, what do we do? How do we make that stand? And so you
You
said a lot of things that I made note of. You gave me some other things to think about and to research, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, whenever I want to know something, I go around people and hang around people in a concentrated manner that know it better than me. And I
That's why
told
I'm
you
here.
two. I
Because
told you two
I
people.
hear your knowledge.
The Cowboys and the Rastas are top notch in today's American societies. I'm talking about the ones that have connections to their land and homeland. Most Rastas do. I'm not talking about bathroom locks and pretty lock
Right, of
Rastas. I'm
course, of
talking about
course.
natural Rastas. You go amongst them and you interact with them. You'll find that they're in the black diaspora, but you're not gonna find them wasting time debating over quote
Yeah,
unquote black knowledge or whatever because they
of course.
actively with their
Doing
hands
it.
in the ground.
Exactly, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the mindset I'm looking for. The mindset, that mindset, and
You have over 100 Caribbean islands.
they said there is a famine in the land. People thought it was talking about food, but no, it's not talking about food. It's a famine in the land. A lot of people just don't know or
Mhm.
where
Well,
to go.
well, man, you're
So
at the fork in the road. You're at the fork in the road. So he's giving you a great, insight on this. Study the places that you may want to go,
absolutely.
understand who's who, and erase the fear,
Yes.
and have the serious conversations with family, Make sure all of your important matters are taken care
In
of.
place,
I
exactly.
would put some documents on some jump drives and flash drives just in case you have to move quickly. You're going to have to really look at how you pack, where you're going to go, and just go live the life. It's a
Yeah,
great
because right
time
now
for you.
I'm a minimalist. I don't need a whole lot of nothing. I've had it all,
Yeah.
so, so I
Do
don't need
what
a whole
Yeah,
lot
do
of
what
nothing.
do what they do once you get there. When they say move, move.
Absolutely,
Understand the
absolutely.
laws of the land, and that'll benefit. And understand safety. Foods
Yes,
that you are allergic to, get all of that. Let the
yes.
medical people know. So yeah, don't be afraid. Take
I'm not
advantage. That's
afraid.
all I'm
I'm
saying.
not
No,
afraid.
listen,
I
I'm not
take
saying you, anybody. So
yeah.
so I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna get off. Listen, from where you are, I was brothers 21 to 61, 71 women. Look at this as the same thing. My man is there. He's been doing it. I'm saying those require skills, whether you learn them through an institution or you learn them on your own or you learn them through YouTube. You have to acquire those things. So when you do decide to make a
yes,
life-changing move, you can be prepared to start from scratch and
Absolutely,
rebuild a whole new generation for yourself and for your family. That's all I'm saying. I'm in America,
absolutely.
brother. Just listen. A lot of brothers in America have been doing their thing. I just appreciate YouTube is allowing brothers to connect state to state, coast to coast. So as they continue to move forward, they can leapfrog and get past a lot of these bureaucracies and these systematic nuances that keep us from allowing us to build ourselves. And that's all I'm saying. So salute, brothers can go where
I
you are. Hopefully, sisters can go.
mhm.
Y'all, it's a great opportunity. And in the 4 years, again, the world is coming. They're coming with money. So if you don't have your place secure, you may have to be able to get on the move. Is all I'm saying. So salute to
oh,
Right,
you.
oh,
right. And like you
two
say, you
things
can't
I
be
want to
afraid
say,
to make
sister.
those moves. Yes, sir.
Two two
Mhm.
things I want to say. Stay away from the islands unless they're like islands so huge that they have a huge inland highland cockpit like mountains and things like that.
Mhm.
And stay away from the coasts, the coastlines. You understand? That's just very important to if you go out anywhere to establish yourself. People make a huge mistake of investing in. I'm doing a lot of remediation where I am now for a lot of people that I told 10 years ago not to buy land on the coast, and now they're crying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yes,
that those are the
yes.
most important things, and just try to get yourself around good people, good vibrations. But like I say, I'm not I'm not in the consciousness community. But when I do interact with the people in the States, I lived in the States, I served in the military for a long time. One of the main things I do is I connect with people who are in those communities that are on an international base, and I go home with them.
Okay. Are there any are there any like social groups that you can connect me to?
I tell you what, I've been seeing like a number of homesteading groups, black homesteading groups all over Facebook, homesteading, off grid living groups, sustainable living groups, permaculture is a big deal because that's the brother was asking about soil and fixing depleted land, and that's really one of the main ways you do it is through a process that they call permaculture right now because you emulating a forest when you plant instead of growing everything in row crops and everything grows much faster. So what else can I put you on to? There's uh, 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 I have an organization, Geocompass Explorers,
Is that
and
G as in George Compass Explorer?
GeoCompass Explorers,
Okay.
and we link people with people. Like I don't sell you nothing or whatever, but the people who are here from um, uh, uh, Costa Rica, the people who are in our group from here or there, they'll go back home, and I link with people with reputable people to go back home where they can actually learn the ropes with indigenous people so
Okay.
that they can really, it's not like you going out to just be at the hotels and drinking and sipping. You go into
No, no.
the villages to see what's going on and how they live. And we got like over 3,000 acres in Belize, 1,500 acres in Costa Rica. We do a lot of uh, uh, conservation, something called regenerative conservation,
Hmm.
and things like that. So all of that stuff is connected. You
Okay.
know, um, taking care of the earth and all of that, and the biocultural heritage of the planet Earth. All of that stuff is interconnected. Sustainability, sustainable development groups. That's huge. That's where the money is.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people are chasing small money from trends in the United States, but like the multi hundreds of $billion money movements are with conservation and people buying like cheap conservation land and keeping that stuff in order, and they getting paid diversify incomes from like at least like 8 different income streams just
Mm.
for the fact that they have the land, and it's in conservation areas and things like that.
Hey, what are your thoughts? What I'm curious on y'all thoughts on following Logic's comments. And unfortunately, the system is global. There is no there.
Mm.
Meaning that I guess basically what he's saying is there's no place to really hide. I guess is what he's saying because the
No, I
You
don't
know,
talk about hiding though. I'm talking about
not
getting in front of the
living.
game.
right.
Exactly.
Well, I'm well, okay, right, but
To,
I
Yeah.
guess
can I say something to that too? Is
yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's hiding because like for example, where I'm from that's Guyana, that's in South America, right?
Yeah,
And it's
guys.
still a
Yeah.
part of it's still a part of the Western world. But like the brother was talking, there's a lot of Rastafaris, right? That
Mhm.
they might come to the city to do commerce and stuff, but then they go back to where they at and where they most self-sufficient. So you don't necessarily gotta go to another land, you know what I'm saying? There's actually people within America that have their own nation within a nation. So you don't necessarily gotta go somewhere else. You just gotta be self-sufficient for the most part. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
You
got you.
Well,
gotta
I
be able to
appreciate you, all of you.
eat without paying nobody. And that's the
Uh-huh.
basics of it. You gotta be able to eat, be healthy and strong, and think clearly without having to pay nobody to do that.
Yes.
Hey, what's
I
up, Wallace? Lake
appreciate
to
you guys.
celebrate
I
that.
appreciate each and every one of you brothers that poured in, gave knowledge, and I will definitely be doing my research. That's what I have been doing. I'm going to continue to do research before I make some moves. There's no fear here, Coach. No,
Thank you.
no
Yes,
fear here
no fear.
at all. You know, that's why I came on because this is something that we have been, working on and researching for a few years now. And it's, time that we just make these moves. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Izzy, thank you for allowing me to come up.
Oh,
Have a great
absolutely.
day.
All right, you too, you too. Hey, shout out to Shindy Alex. Shindy Alex said, just plant beans and peas. They help a lot. Yo, shout out to Angry Man in the building. What's up, Angry Man? What's up going on?
What's
AMG
up,
is in the
man?
building. How you doing,
Y'all niggas about to be farmers and shit.
Hey man, we got
Oh my
man, we
god.
about to farm, do what we gotta do to make sure we eat, man. We're just trying to, get ahead of the curve. Yo, what's up? Zone said, what's up, Zone 864 TV said basically Zero and Coach saying the same thing, just from different perspectives. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I do think both of them have some valuable insights. I don't know if it's necessarily the same though. I
Yeah,
can't
man.
say that.
I'm
You
speaking
know?
from America, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
You
He's
know what I'm
speaking from
saying?
more of a
Brothers got to
global
get those
perspective.
skills.
And my
They
man
got
Coach
to.
Berg speaking from more of a local perspective. I understand.
No, it's a national perspective. Every black man in America has the opportunity to build on his skill set. He must take upon it. He have to, whether it's YouTube skill or doing what my man's doing, cooking a meal. It's all part of his growth and his extension of himself. He
No
has to
doubt.
do
Oh,
that.
hold on real quick. There'll be no angry man slander tolerated, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now. If y'all start, man, I'm gonna drop y'all. So Cash Kid, you better chill out, man. You better chill out. Okay. I know you cooking and doing your thing. I don't know what the hell you cooking, but I'm just telling you off the top because if you as soon as you say whoop, I'm dropping you. So just Y'all make sure y'all support the show too. In the meantime, between time, this is definitely a dope discussion. Appreciate my man Zero here. Appreciate each and every one of y'all brothers here, man, for sure, and the information that y'all provided, man. I think it's valuable. Go ahead, Knight. Did were you finished saying what you were saying, brother? I felt like people cut you off, man. Were you finished?
Because when I'm listening to what people are saying, I know they have an organic section in the store. So what's all the rest of that stuff?
You said what's up? Say again.
I know they have an organic section in the store. I know there's spring water in stores. So what's all the rest of that stuff?
That's constructed food. That's stuff that's built and designed and
GMO.
Yeah, genetically modified and so on and so forth. Even I'm gonna tell you a secret about the tropical organic stuff, right? If they have to move it over 50 miles away from where it is, it's kind of trash. From where they raise it, it's pretty much trash.
Right, because they gotta put preservatives and stuff like that to keep it up.
That's another word that I can put you on to called bioethics, right? Something that's a big money thing that's happening right now, bioethical trading. And everybody's trying to figure out with the food chains collapsing, how best to provide food. So what they're doing is decentralizing it. That's another word. You don't want to deal with anything that's centralized. Everything right now that is something that's making money, that's doing anything, is decentralized. Like I noticed a village nearby me where they had water problems, and we set up a reverse osmosis a purification plant.
You break it in and out, zero. You break it in and out.
Yeah.
About reverse osmosis.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I figured out. I saw a village that was close nearby to me that was having major water problems. So what we ended up doing is setting up a reverse osmosis plant. I have a creek running through my property, a freshwater creek and springs. So what we did was we set up a reverse osmosis plant, and we servicing like 5 villages within like a 15-mile radius, and we crushing. And I guarantee you, I've seen streamer numbers because I like to pocket watch. And we sit back relaxing, and we make way more than what streamers making just servicing reverse osmosis water to people who need clean drinking water.
That's what's up. Yo, Deborah Linnelli, shout out to her. Said, thank God AM is here to bring sanity to this convo. Shout out to you, Deborah Linnelli. Shout out to Angry Man. Angry Man, what say you, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming through. What say you, good brother?
I tuned in to see what y'all was talking about because I'm looking at the topic, the title, and y'all are talking about some goofy shit, like straight up. Like, this is goofy as hell, bro. Like, who? Like, what? Where did the chick go? Why did she leave?
Oh no, but she just asked. Well, she was up here. She was just asking a couple of questions. Her questions got answered, and she left. Opulent J left. You know what I'm saying? She was gonna leave a while ago.
Yeah, sure. What was her first question?
No, she just wanted to know, where would you go if you're a person that doesn't really have the survivals, you know what I'm saying, the nature skills, so to speak, where would you go and be able to start and to be able to live off the grid?
Escape America, right?
Well, or find a pocket in America where it's not under the system.
It's not under Trump, right? Like, yo,
it's not about Trump. Wait. This conversation. Wait. Hold up. This conversation is absolutely not about Donald Trump, brother.
This chick just randomly came up here and asked you how she could go somewhere and live like Gilligan and them on the island and shit. You just random.
No, it wasn't random at all. The brother Zero lives off the grid, and we were having a conversation about that, and it's just she asked the brother Zero some questions. That's how that happened.
Let me correct that, right? We have our own grid. We started off the grid, but we have our own decentralized grid now.
Jay Lewis says she's leaving America, AM. She's leaving America.
Why? I want her to answer that question. Why are you leaving America? Just humor me and answer that question, Jay.
Because her men and infrastructure can't protect her. Very simple.
Here we go.
That's not what she said. That is not what she said.
we
Very
go.
simple. I'm just telling you what it is, though. That's what it is. That's why the majority of people, that contact me are women.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Why wouldn't the women contact you when they live in a country that has trained them to think their men can't protect them? Think. Keyword being think that their men can't protect them.
We come from a school called Show and Prove, right? And it's not. I think there's a good portion of women that might just think that believe that. There's a superficial level of women, but there's people out here that's really looking at what's going on and tallying up what's going on around them, and they just trying to figure out where they need to be to survive. You understand? Everything is not about media and what the media say and so on and so forth. Some shit is just intuition. You understand? It's natural law. You know, it's just real. You know what I'm saying? Female gorillas, if a male gorilla can't protect them, they go to where they can be protected. That's just the laws of nature. You understand? I hear where you coming from, and that's a level of it. You know, like there is a bunch of red pill, blue pill, gobbledygook goo going on. A lot of bad energy being projected at black men and so on and so forth. But
Wait,
in the same sense, you got to show and prove, brother.
Let me stop you. Right? Because really, to be truthfully honest, when you be up here talking all of that goofy shit, I could go in on it if I really wanted to. I could go in on it. But see, what trips me out is when brothers like yourself got something going on and you excited about it, and that's cool, but you can't be going in on other people's stuff. You talking about, oh, there's red pill, gobbledygook. Everything that's including that is not gobbledygook. Like, you're literally talking to one of the dudes that pioneered the red pill shit. So don't come at me with the red pill gobbledygook. What you talking about is gobbledygook, my G.
So why you here arguing with me trying to prove it?
No, you're talking about running. That's what you're talking about.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
you're wrong.
Exactly what you're talking about.
You're wrong.
What you talking about? Because at the end of the day, what it boils down to is, instead of running and trying to hide from imperialism, which you cannot do, what black folks should be doing is holding it down and doing what they need to do here. But the problem is, when they're here, they want to play.
You misinformed, brother. What it is, the problem is that, let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is that
Zero. 1 second. Let him finish his thought, and then you got the next. Go ahead. What's you saying, Ran?
What the problem is, when black folks get on there, I'm about to get up out of here and go somewhere else. Black folks will go somewhere else, and when they get somewhere else, then they act like they got some sense. When they hear that it's party time, when they hear, and I'm not talking about Jay, she want to go, she can go. It is what it is. You can go wherever you want to go. But my thing is, what I've observed about most black people in America is, when they hear in America, it's playtime. It's playtime. And then when they go somewhere else, it's like, oh, we got to get real now. That's the problem. If black folks got real here, you wouldn't have to go nowhere else.
All right,
you wouldn't have to go nowhere else. Real talk.
All right, Zero, what you say about that, Zero? My bad. I wanted to let him finish his thought, and then you could go ahead and say what you got to say. I'm listening.
Right, well, let me say this, right? I'm not here to tear nobody down, to tear with the brother. I'm gonna make an observation, though, right? Influencers, so to speak, they have to have a captive audience. Everything is slavery in the United States at this point, right? You have to maintain a captive audience that's going to feed you, that's going to feed your ego, that's going to feed your cultural personalities, you understand, and divert their energy to you, you understand, so that they're not out here putting their hands in the ground, building, like the brother said earlier, affecting trades, building homes, whatever. You understand? You can come here and try to besmirch me, but if anybody really do research into me, they'll see that I am what I say I am. I make moves, and make good, not just on the grassroots level, but on the government, international, and CARICOM level. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about diversifying and expanding outside
You're breaking in
of
and out really bad, Zero.
systems of where you can't do anything.
You say
That's
you're
what I'm
not. You're talking about.
about. You
Hold on,
understand?
Zero. You're
Nobody.
breaking up. Zero. Hold on, real quick. I apologize. You're breaking up really bad. I was trying to
Yeah.
understand you. You said that you're talking about diversifying because you. Is there any way that you could like
Yeah, I'm
clean up?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm talking about diversifying and stretching yourselves into outside of your parochial systems, so you can see that there are other ways to make money. You understand? It's beyond streaming, beyond whatever the latest trend that they say is in the United States. A lot of the things that they're telling you are scams are booming out in the rest of the world. Right? Crypto was supposed to be a scam, but yet they just passed a whole bill to make crypto not cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency one of the main forms of exchanges within the next 5 or 10 years. You understand? So all I'm saying is I'm not talking about running, hiding, anything. I'm talking about expanding your mind and understanding that when you make money, you have to maintain yourself. You have to get food, clothing, and shelter. Why not position yourself where you're mastering the food, clothing, and shelter, and you don't have to go through a bunch of middlemen to obtain that? And then on top of that, you can be ahead of the ball, the eight ball, as far as being people that have that in your hand, as far as having natural resources, having land. You understand? Farming, like I put my hands in the dirt, but for the most part, I got people that I give jobs to. You understand? I have people working. You understand? So it's not all about this like little stuff where you just come in and belittling, ideas that you can't understand. It's just nobody's talking about running. We talking about like, the American scam, pyramid scam is not going to last long. That's what we're talking about. And positioning yourself where you can touch some good green earth and have some good clean water and raise a good, strong, healthy family that's not doused with genetically modified organisms, and you can do something about it. So, it's all fun and games,
Yo, bro,
but,
really
it ain't what you saying, bro.
One second. Go ahead, AM.
you just got through belittling something you don't understand. You being a whole hypocrite right now. You literally just got through belittling something you don't understand.
What I'm saying is, what is it doing for you if you still sitting here getting beat red in the face, arguing with me about how valuable it is? What is it doing for you if you got to get on here and raise your voice and argue with me about how valuable it is?
One second, Zero. Go ahead.
Number one, I'm not beat red in the face. That's number one. Relax. You exaggerate now, my nigga. Okay, trust and believe. If I was being loud and turned up, I got 10 more levels, bruh. I'm having a conversation with you, and now you getting defensive because I'm calling you out on your goofiness. And
You're not calling nothing out though. You just throwing ad hominem attacks.
One second, brother. Zero. 1 second. Let him finish. One finish, brother. Let's be respectful of each other and let each other finish, and then we go. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound, so people can understand. All right, Zero. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, angry man. Go ahead, Ang.
Number one, you sitting here trying to say, oh, you trying to put value on something. I didn't put value on anything. I didn't say nothing about how great America was or none of that. If I remember correctly, I said the problem is Black folk want to play when they're in America and get serious when they somewhere else. That's what I said. That didn't put no type of value on America or none of that. I ain't even go into that. That's you projecting. That's you feeling like America's trash for you. Now, if you went somewhere else in the jungles of Borneo or wherever and was able to build you whatever and live good, cool, bruh. But that don't mean you got to get up here and then trash everything that my forebears fought for here in America, bled for in America.
Brother, you misinformed, yo. I never said America was trash. As a matter of fact, I'm a U.S. veteran. I talked here with the lady about the Buffalo Soldiers and a bunch of things. The only thing great about America is its black people. So, I don't know what you're talking about, where you coming from. You coming out of left field. So I don't really know how to deal with a lot of the talking points that you're bringing up. Again, it's something I didn't. It's something I didn't say. I never said run from America. The lady came up
How can
and
you
said
say
that they wanted to
playing in
leave
Cash
America.
Kid, hold on, man. Cash Kid, relax. Go ahead, Zero. My fault.
Yeah, I never said run from America. I never said any of that. I'm telling you that right now, America is a kill box, and you not, as a black man, positioning yourself to control, maintain dominance in that kill box, right? So you're gonna have a lot of people that might look to you as leadership or looking for leadership that's trying to figure out other ways. That's all I'm saying. I never said America was trash. None of that. I wouldn't even be here talking to the people, interacting with the people if I believe America was trash. That's my firm belief. The only reason why America is because of its black people.
Okay, so number one, these aren't talking points. These are my actual thoughts. So it's not like I'm regurgitating something somebody else said. These are my actual thoughts.
But you're not answering me.
One
You're
second,
not
Zero.
saying you
One
bringing
second,
up
Zero,
you.
Zero, Zero, Zero. 1 second, brother. Come on, man. Just like I told Cash Kid to hold up when you was talking. Let him finish his thought first, and then we could go from there. Okay, brother? Go ahead, Angry Man. My fault, bro.
So here's my thing, bro. Like this whole thing about niggas have been saying America is falling since I was a kid. Since I was a kid, like it's really interesting because the problem is black folk in America have not continued to do what they were supposed to do in order to put us where we need to be. They dropped the ball at some point and decided they jumped the gun on, oh, we got more freedom than we ever had before, so now it's time to party. That's what's been going on lately. Okay, where the civil rights movement and all of that enthusiasm was at. After that, the ball got dropped, and since the ball got dropped, black folk feel like they haven't progressed, which is crazy because we have, right? We're just not in certain key positions. And part of the reason we're not in certain key positions and don't have a certain amount of power is because we remain still a small portion of the population. And the only reason for that is not because the men can't protect the women. It's because the women don't value the children. Period. The women don't value the seed of black man here in America. So the 70 to 80 some million people that would have been born black were not born, and we all know why. Now it's going to be real difficult to continue to maintain systematic racism or whatever if you've got a comparable portion of the population, which would have happened had it not been for that whole Planned Parenthood participating in that. If they wouldn't participate in that, we'd be over 100 million strong in this country, and this country would look very different. But no, what happened was Negroes dropped the ball, and now, like always, when Negroes mess up, they want to run. If you ever had a house party, the moment the house looked wrecked, now it's time for everybody to bounce. Go wreck another house. That's how I feel.
All right, let my man Zero get
Wake
in
up
there.
now.
Hey, Nightish,
So
are you still alive? Nightish, you still living? I didn't see you breathing. Okay. I'll make sure I didn't see your chest move. Okay, I'll make sure you breathing.
He's
Brother.
just praying. He's just praying. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I gotta make sure you good, brother. Don't pass away on my
He looking at his phone. I got you.
Nightish, yeah.
Reading the text.
Good. All right, go ahead, Zero. My fault, brother. You got it. I apologize.
yeah. I didn't come here to argue something that is not even. That's your talking point. I didn't come here to argue any of that. You
I'd
understand?
like
That's
to argue that
Hold on,
I'm not a speculator, right? So what's the operative solution? Do we keep regenerating and regurgitating what the problem is, whose fault it is, until we just keep generating money in our cash apps and eating off of it and getting mad when people are not, adding to it. Like, what is the solution? You understand? You can't belittling farming. You can't saying anything that I was standing on was goofy. So what's your solution?
To keep that cash thing. That part.
So number one, everything you just got through saying sound like a lot of personal attacks, if we being honest. Now, as far as something being goofy, you were the first one that said something was gobbledygook. You did that. You
came first saying goofy, bro. I never said a word to you when you said I'm talking something goofy. So what you mean?
He said
I'm sitting here looking at the replay.
No, he said the
conversation was goofy. That's what I said.
He said that goofy stuff you talking about. That's exactly what you said.
Bro, I said the conversation was goofy.
You said that goofy stuff that you talking about, bro.
Okay, cool. Maybe. Okay, cool. I said the
so anything that you feel is an attack is my response to you coming up hot and heavy.
So hold on real quick. Zero, come on, brother. Please, let's keep the rapport, because if nothing else, for the sake of the audience, let's keep the rapport well so that everybody can hear and know what's going on. Go ahead. Hey, my fault, man. You got it.
So I want to understand this. So basically, when you come on to YouTube and you start dropping signs about your code and the way you live as a man and everything that you believe in, everybody's supposed to just shut up and listen, right? But then if another grown man challenges what you saying, now all of a sudden it's an attack, and all of a sudden it's a problem or whatever. Like, is that what it is, bro?
That's deceptive, because that's not what's going on. You understand? You came up talking. See, first of all, you came and just started talking about stuff. It's like AI, the AI delusions. You started talking about points and putting things in my mouth that I wasn't even saying. You understand? Whoa. And I'm no and pause. You understand? But I ain't a type of person that's just going to just sit and take that. You understand? Because it's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying what you're saying right now. You understand? I'm responding to you. Everything that's come out of my mouth is a response to you since you've come up on the panel. You understand? Because you're saying A, B, C, and D. You're saying a bunch of things that I'm not saying. You saying I said run from America.
Wait, whoa, partner, whoa. Pause, man. Nah, nigga. Hell no. Pause, my brother. Pause.
If y'all will allow me to, can we reset? Because I got love for both of y'all brothers, and I got a tremendous amount of respect for both of y'all brothers, kind of for a little different reasons, but I appreciate both of y'all. Can we reset a little bit? I think that when Angry Man came up here and said that the conversation was goofy, I think maybe you probably took that personally, Zero. I don't think that he meant it personally towards you. I think he was just talking in general, right? And then AM, I think that when you said what you said, I don't think that you meant it personally. At the same time, it can be taken personally from the aspect of Zero was the one doing most of the talking. So if we don't mind, can we take it like that as men and call it a wash and like start so it doesn't go into anything extra or anything different? Because I don't think that ultimately either one of you brothers have anything against each other. I don't think that that's the case. You know
nah, my ego is not anchored in none of this. We just talking, you know what I'm saying? So if that's where we leave it, that's where we leave it.
What say you, AM?
Okay, so here's my thing, right? And fair enough. If I can't say a conversation is goofy without niggas getting in their feelings about it, they cool. But
so then it's not over then.
Wait, hold on, Zero. Come on, man. Let him
taking it personal.
Come on, Zero. Come on,
man. No, it's not taking it personal. It's like motherfuckers like to be slick.
Zero. Hold on, Zero. I need $5. It's a F-bomb curse jar, brother. Come on, Zero.
Right.
totally calm. Like you over there, like, bruh, come on, man. Like you're supposed to be at peace. You with Zen. You supposed to have Zen over there in the jungles and stuff, bro. Why you wilding right now?
I
Like,
never said none of that.
He's a soldier, Am. What you doing? That man ain't saying nothing about no peace. He's a soldier.
hey, look. Just because soldiers can find peace too, bro. So
He's a
look,
warrior. He ain't thinking about no peace. Go ahead, man.
look, man.
Wow.
Look. At the end of the day, right? See, this is my issue with this, right? And I do take this personally, right? So I understand everything you saying about America. I just look at it from a different position. One, I don't look at America like white folk own America. That's number one. Okay. Number two,
Speaking of Google,
I don't look at it like, okay, man, America's a wash. We got to get up out of here. No, I'm not going nowhere.
I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Let's see what I mean. Like,
but
bro,
hold on, Zero. Let him finish though, please, y'all.
finish, bro.
Like, go ahead, Am. You got it.
It's not because it doesn't align with what you talking about. Like, bro,
No, that's not the fact. The fact is you using deceptive techniques and mockingbird bullshit to put words that I've never said. I'm not. That has nothing to do with where I'm coming from. The point of this conversation that you in today was a specific point. You understand? And I came here to talk about that point. All this other stuff you talking about is something that you're hallucinating about. You understand? I never said none of that. White people was none of that. You understand?
I'm hallucinating. No, what I'm doing is I'm having a discussion from the context of the conversation. The context of the conversation when you were talking a little while ago.
But it's me and you talking, so it's like you can't take somebody else's talking points.
Zero, hold on, brother. Come on, brother. Please, brother Zero. Come on, man.
I thought soldiers was disciplined.
Come on, brother. Please, sir. Let the man finish saying what he's saying. We don't have to do that, y'all. And I do need that 5, good brother, my brother Zero. And I miss you, man. I'm glad you're here. I miss talking to you, Zero. I was wondering where you was at. But I do need you to please let's keep the decorum.
Bro, discipline and bearing is real, but you're not my general, bro.
Nah, I got you. Come on, Zero. For the love of me, can you please, brother? Please. I don't know.
I can salute as an equal man, but you're not my general where I'm just gonna sit and let you just say things that ain't the fact.
Zero, but hold on, fam. It shouldn't be about that, brother. I don't understand what's really going on, man. Keep for the love of me, for the respect of me, can you please allow him to finish this conversation, man? Come on. I don't want you to feel disrespected or slighted by me at all.
What you just said is nonsensical, because interrupting somebody and talking over them when they trying to make their point, that's you trying to be the general. That's you trying to be the general. If you had mutual respect for me as a man, you let me finish my statement. But you extra sensitive, like every nigga in America. You might as well be here. Because I don't agree with what you saying, bro. I don't agree with what you're saying, and I'm speaking from the context of the conversation. I'm not pulling nothing out the air. You said out of your mouth. I'm on the type of time where I'm trying to do XYZ because, a lot of sisters hit me up because in America, they can't protect, the brothers can't protect the sisters. Yeah, because white dudes is running and snatching women out of houses right now. You were talking from the perspective of America being bad. You may not have said that, but you're talking about here in America, brothers can't protect the women. You were talking about GMO food. You were talking about all of these different things that pertain to America. So when I responded to you, I was speaking on that. And now you acting like you didn't bring that up. You brought that up. So I'm not making up anything, and I'm not delusional, and I'm not coming with talking points. I'm literally responding to what you said.
All right, Generalissimo. So what is the solution? Because I didn't say none of that. I actually said that you in a kill box and you got to do things to get yourself out of that kill box and into a better position, right? So what's the solution, Generalissimo?
Bro, how am I in a kill box? Let's start there. Let's start there.
Let's start with the solution.
No, let's start with, first of all, in order for me to solve the problem,
I was unable to do any of that. So just let's start with the solution.
Bro, check this out. What'd you just get through saying? Didn't you just get through saying I wasn't your general? You ain't my general either. Okay, so let me finish what I'm saying. All right. First of all, you're asking me to solve for a problem that you've already exaggerated. That's why I asked you, how am I in a kill box? Let's start there. In order for me to want to solve the problem of being in a kill box, I would have to agree with you that I'm in a kill box. So what I'm trying to figure out is, how am I in a kill box?
If we solve the problem, you will have no business, brother. And that's what it all comes down to. You understand? If we get solutions oriented, right, and really start doing things and mobilizing to solve the problem,
have no business. Who would
you
have
no business?
What is my business?
Yeah, I think this is going kind of in a different direction than I really.
Do not save him, because he's about to say some dumb shit because he don't know what he's talking about. What is my business, Zero? Please answer that question.
Ever since you came up here, you just been regurgitating the problem over and over. Actually, you've been adding problems and hallucinating problems like AI that wasn't even part of the conversation.
You still ain't asked the question. You still ain't asked the question. Ask the question.
You didn't answer the question either, brother.
What is my business?
What is the solution? Your business is regurgitating, you understand, the problem over and over and over. That's your business. If the problem is solved, you have no business.
That's my business.
Solomon is stupid. You say most of the solution-based oriented things are stupid. So if we're not doing those things, if we're not working ourselves out of the conundrum, then what business do you have?
We still haven't named what the conundrum is. We still waiting for you to say what the problem is.
You and Johnny come lately, brother. We did. We started off with the problem. We started off talking about what the problem was.
What's the problem? What is the problem?
All right, you right, bro. Whatever.
Black women are the problem. Black women in America.
Exactly. Because you don't even know what the damn problem is. You just on something and you excited about it, and that's cool. But my thing is, and this is what I get tired of with niggas. Like, at the end of the day, if you here in America and shit ain't going right for you, stop shitting on everybody else where shit is going right for them. Because that's nigga shit. That's all that is, bro. You can dress it up however you want to dress it up, my G. That's nigga shit. Period.
Yeah. Whatever you say, bro.
Period. I know, because I'm having the conversation.
So you saying black women is the problem, and black man has nothing to do with this problem.
Hey, Mela 2, anybody know Mela 2? I apologize. Anybody know Mela 2?
No.
You said first you said black people, but now you saying that the problem is black women, right?
But he didn't say that. That was someone else that said that, actually.
He did not say that.
He didn't say that. Cash Kid said that. Cash Kid was the one that said that.
He always says that.
Hey, Mela 2, Cash Kid, that's what I said. Relax, so people, so they could go back and forth and not think anything's interjected. And Mela 2, I'm not sure who you are, so I need you to be cammed up, family. I'm not familiar with you. Shout out to Crown Brainiac. Go ahead, fam.
When did I see? Here's the thing. Here's the thing with me, right? I listened to the conversation that was being had before I even came up here, right? Then I came up here and I addressed the conversation, and then me and Zero had a back and forth about the conversation. I'm discussing the conversation. But here's where the problem always comes in. The problem always comes in where you niggas sit up here and want to respond to me based on some other shit. You want to respond to me based on whatever goofy niggas you be watching on YouTube that talk about me that don't know shit about me. Because if you think my entire, because see, you keep alluding to it, but you don't want to say it. I want you to say it so I can make you look goofy as hell. Just go ahead and say it. Just go ahead and say it. But see, you want to keep alluding to it. Talking about you said black women the problem. I ain't even said nothing about black women being the problem since I've been up here.
Right, Cash Kid just said that.
Somebody brought it up, bro.
Cash Kid just said it. Cash Kid was the one that just said it. Angry.
I didn't bring it up, but see, because everybody on YouTube, all of you niggas on YouTube sit around and listen to niggas that say Angry Man hates black
Well, there was
women.
no distinct. It's my bag for not distinguishing between the voices. I'm having a conversation with you, so I figured that it was you that responded.
Don't interrupt me, because see, this is what you didn't want to say. This is what you didn't have the nuts to say. So I'm gonna say it for you. You wanted to say, yo, you think black women are the problem, and all you want to do is keep regurgitating the problem, and that's what the problem is. But if you solve that problem, then you won't have no more business, which show you don't know what you talking about. You don't have a damn clue what you talking about, G. Nothing. I can sit up here and talk about Pokemon and still make money. I can sit up here and talk about Dragon Ball Z and make money. You don't know what you're talking about. And half the time, I'm not even talking about black women on my show. But you too busy listening to other niggas talk about what Angry Man do instead of having the conversation with Angry Man. But you can't do that. Because the moment I start asking you real questions, then all of a sudden, you want to get upset and go to something else, bruh. I'm asking you what the problem is in America. What is the problem that we got to escape?
Yo, your powers of deductive reasoning are excellent and on point. So, whatever, man. This is what I want to say to you, man. This is this. Like I said before you overtalk me, is I wasn't able to distinguish between the voices, and I thought it was you that said it, and I was wrong. So I'm gonna move on. And you know what I'm saying? You want to keep hanging on it to make for good content, you can do that. I'm telling you, I was wrong because I thought the brother's voice was your voice, and my response was asking you a question. I wasn't coming to no conclusions. I'm repeating what it is that I thought you said, and it wasn't what you said. So I'm moving on.
All right, you breaking up really bad. A0, are you
I guess that what constitutes as a my bad or apology in these spaces. Like, for one, bro, I don't gotta argue with you to make content.
Yeah, right. And I don't have and I'm big enough to say I apologize for because I thought it was you. And now that's it. You know what I'm saying? I can say it out loud, you know what I'm saying? And all of this other extracurricular stuff is not nothing that was on my mind.
All right.
What's up, Jalen?
I appreciate it.
All right. So let me read these comments. Let me break them down. Hey, y'all support this show, man. What's going on? Support the show. Hit the Cash App, man. Hit the Cash App. My Cash App is $is showbands. Is showband. What's up, Naeem Bishop? Tell Ranger to fix his crappy audio. It's muffled. It's bad for the show. Well, listen, he's good. He's in the jungle, man. He brother, I'm glad he's with us. But shout out to Chalk. I hope the brothers patch up the miscommunication and we keep all the extra old stuff out of it. And just let's talk about the topic. Shout out to Petty Pendergrass. Shout out to Ignorant TV. What's up? Salute. Shout out to KJ Eternal 22. Hey, what's going on, man? Y'all support this show though, man. Hit the like button, like so free. Pause. No Diddy, no Richard Pryor. Oh Lord, yo. Speak easy. Said, classic. What's up? What's up, Crown Heights Brady? What's going on, good brother? He hiding behind his eyeballs and bucket hat. Yo, shout out to that. Thank you, TV Trucking. I appreciate you for the $3. Shout out to my people, TV Trucking in the building. Hey, 90s, wake up. That's what he said. And this man is sucking on lemons straight from the tree. Tanzanians built different. I can't make it. I can make it anywhere. I'm just want to be here. I just don't want to be here anymore. JD said, "Uh-oh, it's Friday and it's about to go Super Saiyan in a few minutes." Now we cool. Scrap Skrilla, what's up, fam? What's going on? Hey, Deborah Leonelli said, "If you can't make it here, I have very bad news for you." Okay. No, seriously, AM, it's for a lot of reasons. We can talk. Shout out to her. Deborah Leonelli said, "Bring it, angry man. Bring it." Shout out to Treese. What's up, sis? How you doing? You will be timed out if you act up. If you give me angry man slander, you will be timed out. Hey, Jalen, sit this one out, good brother. I love you, man. Sit this one out, Jalen. Go ahead, AM. You want to say something?
Let me say this. Let me say this to Jade. Like, if that's what you want to do, God bless. You feel me? If you feel like you're going to be happier somewhere else, that's cool. But from my position, I've had to struggle and fight here in America to get what little bit I got. And I'm not going to abandon it. I'm not going to let none of these people in this country run me away from here. It's not going to happen. Now, if other folks want to go somewhere else, cool. I ain't tripping about that. But my thing is, why is it, and I'm not talking about Jade, I'm just talking about black folk in general. I notice black folk do this, right?
We gotta run.
Why is it black folk gotta do a parting shot when they leave?
Yeah, we gotta run.
like when they leave America, you feel what I'm saying? They gotta take a fresh dump before they leave. Like, yeah. And then they turn around and say, "Yeah, the reason why y'all niggas ain't shit because y'all still in America." Like, that's how it be feeling, bruh.
Well, let me ask you a question, AM. Is it possible that the people are trying to like wake up other people and trying to get them to be able to live like they're living and come to where they're at so that they can be safe, or because they care about people? I mean, is there another way to look at that or another perspective?
That's possible, but it's also offensive. Because I can do the same thing from this perspective. I could be over here like clowning folks that's in another country. Mm-hmm. Like, look, if I was really petty, I'd have been like, as soon as everybody like, "Yo, what's going on with your mic?" I could have went in, bro. You know how many jokes popped up in my head when his mic started tripping? I didn't say nothing. I restrained myself, bro. Like, I could do the same thing. I could clown anywhere somebody else go. You feel me? Like right now, look at Cash Kid's plate, bro. I could.
That plate look crazy. It do look disgusting. It look disgusting. I just wanted to let you know it does not look good. It looks disgusting. Go ahead, Angry.
That man went back to 1942 to get that plate, man. Like, yo, I could go in, but I'm not gonna go in. And Zero, I don't got nothing against you personally, bro. I just don't like when dudes make it seem, that's how I'm taking it. It could be my perception. Make it seem like, oh, y'all Negroes is messed up because y'all still in America. We over here in paradise and shit. Like, that's how I feel, bro.
Well, I can't go off of how you just talked to me about being in my feelings, and what I'm saying is the way you feel is erroneous. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying. You understand? I'm still a U.S. citizen, bro. I'm a Thai citizen. I'm a Thai citizen as well. I also got citizenships in a couple other countries, bro. So it's like I got properties in the United States. So I never said anything about running or nanny boo boo. This is, I'm here or you there. I'm saying stretch out. That's all I'm saying. You understand? You can reject it. You could get in your feelings and take it however you want to take it, but that's not what I'm saying. You understand? And that's just the facts. And people in the audience that have seen how I'm living and have interacted with me, they know better. So you can't clown me about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm not manipulative. You can't manipulate me like that to clown me or for me to feel any old way about that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So however you feel is how you feel, brother. It's unfortunate that you feel that way because nothing that I said today is relaying that. but you know, you're gonna be on where you on, and you know, it's not about me convincing you any different.
Well, for one, I'm definitely in my feelings. You feel me? Because I'm not one of them brothers that when a nigga say, "Oh, you in your feelings," I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not in my feelings," and I don't, nigga, I'm in my feelings, right? That's how I feel. You feel me? I own that shit, dude. Like real talk.
Yeah, and I'm
So
saying it's erroneous because
Hold
nothing I
on, hold on.
forwarded.
I got you. Come on, Zero. He was quiet when you was talking. He ain't interrupt you, good brother.
yeah, like I'm definitely in my feelings. Now, the one thing that you're wrong about is I
Thank you,
could
Terrell.
clown you can clown anybody for anything, bro. Like that's just real. Like now, whether you accept it or not is a whole different thing, right? But it is what it is, bro. Like at the end of the day, like as awesome, I've heard you talk about your lifestyle and everything you got going on. As awesome as that sounds, bro, I wouldn't want to live that lifestyle, bro. You feel me? That's cool for you. I don't want to. Nah, bro. I'm good. I'm good. Like for real.
No doubt. So thank you to Terrell, man. I appreciate you, Terrell. Thank you to Yvette Marie, aka Jessica Rabbit. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. Y'all be like them and help us reach our goal. I'm telling y'all this. We just need 9 more people. Excuse me. 9 more people because of Terrell. We just need 9 more people, at least $5 a piece. Y'all help us reach our goal today. Support through the Cash App. Thank you very much. Support through the Cash App. Everybody just $5 and we can reach our goal. No heavy lifting for anybody. Okay. Shout out to that. Let me welcome a couple of people in the building. She said always is. Thank you so much, sis. His food looked good at first. No, it didn't. Look disgusting. Shout out to Know the Truth. Cash Kid mean with that spoon because he hungry. That's why. Yo, OG Sigma said, I know this is off topic, but speaking of jungle, I was at Walmart. There was a bus full of African brothers and sisters. Our brother bumped into me. I said, excuse me, my guy was in America. They rude as hell. Yeah, you crazy. Shout out to Dan George. What's up, family? You wild for that OG Sigma. That was a wild story. Hey, no matter what level you are on, the question is, are we all pointed towards the same goal? Are we all pointed towards the same goal? Is that what you're asking? Shout out to that. I don't know. LA Project say Genghis Khan gave all his conquered territory to his daughters. His sons were deemed incompetent. Is that why he don't have no lands named after him? Is that why, Angry Man, is that why Genghis Khan don't have no lands named after him because the women lost it all?
Because they came through it.
They couldn't hold on to it. I didn't know that though.
They gave up the cakes.
Damn.
That's what happened.
Shout out to Angry Man. Thank you, man, for your pain and suffering. Thank you, brother, for my pain and suffering. I appreciate you, brother. Jay Lewis is still sponsoring the show, but thank you very much to Angry Man coming through with the $49.99. Thank you very much, good brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Go ahead, fam. Yes.
Yeah, man. The problem is that you coddle AM, bro.
Come on, there you go.
Gets to troll, but
See, you go being stupid. Bye. I tried to tell you, man. Didn't I warn you? Didn't I warn you before? Why are you talking about Angry Man instead of talking about the subject? Goodbye.
That nigga's in love with me, bro.
I think so. I think
it's because you like skiing, Angry Man.
He's gonna turn into a super villain though. I think we're gonna turn into a super. I told you, Cash Cow, I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. You tried to get Angry Man not to come over here no more. It ain't gonna work.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
I'm gonna get rid of you before I get rid of Angry Man. I'm just telling you that right now. If y'all listen, y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can feel how y'all want. 30 years of friendship, trump all that shit, and not to mention he way more successful and donate way more money than all of y'all. So hey, y'all can feel how y'all want to feel, man. I came to the brother for knowledge. I am not going to women for knowledge. If AM was here, when I came up, I would respect his view, agree or not. I need to hear from the men enough respect. Enough respect. Yeah, it's what's understood don't have to be explained. You good?
No doubt.
Hey, yo, Cash Kid. Nah, man, I don't know. Hey, Angry Man, do you want me to give Cash Kid another chance? Yes or no? You can. If you say no, it's all good.
Like give him another chance.
Are you sure? Are you sure, man? Because I don't want you leaving and then blaming me. Are you sure, Angry Man?
He's not gonna trigger me.
Okay, all right. So Angry Man said it. So Cash Kid, you here because of the benevolence of the Angry Man. Tread lightly, Negro. Go ahead. My African Negro. Go ahead, brother.
So is it me? I got the
Yeah,
floor.
go ahead. You got the
Nah, man,
floor.
I was
You
just
got the
saying,
floor.
I was just saying
Use
to
your
Ian,
word. Your
and this
mouth
isn't that
minutes.
floor.
Hey, hold on. Let me help you out. Use your word, your mouth minutes wisely.
Mouth
Yeah, of
minutes.
course, of course. I like I
What'd you just
said,
say?
I said, of
You
course,
sound
bro.
low.
I'll
Okay,
cuddle.
okay. There you go with
So I
your
was
mouth.
saying to Ian, that how can you say to the black Americans that want to leave, that want to practice that kind of, like the brother with several passports and all that, how can you say that he's been playing in America, bro?
Hey,
You in
yo.
Like these are,
Africa. You don't know what's happening down
most
here
of
in
the
these
times,
motherfucking streets.
So
the
I didn't.
highest
So I didn't say.
incomes, right?
So I didn't say.
No, let me
No.
just finish. Let me
Wait,
finish
you
a
asked a
second, right?
question,
So
Cash. Kid, you're not gonna give. Hold on,
I
Cash. Come
haven't
on, man.
finished the question. I haven't finished the
Okay. You
question.
haven't finished the question. Okay, go ahead. Finish the question. That's a long
Yeah.
ass question, but go
I'm saying,
ahead.
how can you say that these guys are playing in America and then they get serious out there? Because most of the time, these passport bros or whatever, they're the most high earning of the population. So isn't it the case that they tried working it out and at some point gave up and saved themselves? End of question.
So number one, a lot of the passport bros are a smaller sect of the American public. And a lot of those brothers are already successful brothers that was already doing what they were supposed to do. I didn't say that zero was playing. I said the problem is a lot of black people is a generalized statement. A lot of black people be here in America playing, and then they'll go to another country and they'll be way more serious in that other country. And part of the reason is because they have to. The thing about it is here in America, is as much as we love to complain about oppression or whatever, black people got way more freedom here and way more leeway to do a bunch of stuff here than they do other places. But nobody ever wants to talk about that. We just want to talk about the oppression and systematic racism and stuff. We don't want to talk about the fact that part of the reason black folks here in America are headed down the wrong path is because we got enough freedom to do that. We got enough freedom to run around here and do whatever we want to do. And it shows.
No doubt. Let me let shout out to Malcolm D. What's up, Malcolm D? What's going on? Let me let DJ Witch Doctor. You got anything you wanted to add on it? Because I know you simulcasting, man. I wanted to give you a chance to speak on anything if you wanted to.
No, I'm enjoying the dialogue between AM and the brother Zero. You know what I'm saying? I know AM is not trying to leave his angry man castle and go, you know what I'm saying, and where his mosquitoes and stuff. Angry man is bougie, you know what I'm saying? He not letting that bouginess go for nothing.
Well, he got a mosquito gun. I'm sure he could take the mosquito gun with him to the
but
mosquito, that mosquito zapper or a mosquito gun. AM, I gotta give
But
him
what I would say, like, there's people that would like to live a certain way off the grid and stuff like that, or create their own grid. And I think that's dope. But the people who want to live in a capitalistic society, I don't think we should knock them. Is whoever is whatever you prefer, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you could handle, you know what I mean?
Can I just say something?
Yes,
just
sir.
just from both perspectives, man. And this is why I understand my man, right? Because if you're young, I ain't talking about the 40-year-old motherfuckers. They old too, right?
Dang, Coach Bird, you owe me $1 million. I need the other five. But go ahead.
So if you're young though, and from what I understand what he's saying, right? You have to be open to exploring all your options to where you're going to live out your life and survive, right? A lot of brothers don't have the skills to go over and cultivate water and bring in these osmosis. They don't have that level of understanding about life yet. They still worried about what a woman's doing. They still walking around with their pants sagging. I'm saying you must gain those skills and knowledge, whether you watch YouTube, whether you get your passport, go over, see how they living. Once you get out of the country, you may realize, you know what? I'm not prepared to live that way. But when you're over here, you still have to take the paths of what's laid out. Whether you learn your skill on your own, whether you go through the schools, whether you go through the military, you have to do that. And some brothers over the time, despite the bad information that they put out, that brothers are lazy. No, most brothers are doing it. And just like Angry Man said, I'm a brother that had to work my way to get everything I have in life. I'd be damned if I just give it away and let somebody come in and just take it. And I'm over there trying to build and work. And yeah, I need to be with a like tribe, but not every brother's equipped to do that. And I'm not afraid to do that because, like you said, he's still an American citizen. Brothers become a dual citizen, regardless of what country.
Yo, let me ask you, Coach Ferg and Angry Man something, because I said this the other day and I'm curious. I'm gonna start with Angry Man, then I'm gonna go to you, Coach Ferg. Shoot me that other 5 though. I appreciate you for that F-bomb. And Zero, you too. Thank you. Angry Man. I said this the other day. This came to me, man. What is anything really worth when it could be snatched and taken from you at any given time, right? If you think about it, and let me clarify the statement real quick so you know where I'm going with this. If you think about it, in America, if you don't pay, you can get your stuff seized for taxes. If someone says something about you, then like the game, he touched my leg underneath the table and I felt so violated. And he lost $7 million. You know what I'm saying? His whole catalog in his damn home. Yo, what is anything really worth if it could be snatched from you at any given time for any amount of reason?
Well, here's the thing about that question. There isn't really a good answer to that question because it is you're going to delve into just the concept of anything being valuable. Because if you're asking that question, it doesn't really matter where you're at. It doesn't really matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're in America. It doesn't matter if you're in another country, because there's always a threat of something taking something from you. So I don't think the issue is what is something worth. I don't think the question is what is something worth if it can be snatched from you. I think the question would be better posed, what is something worth if you're not willing to fight for it? I think that's the better question. You feel what I'm saying? Because, something being taken from you, the jury is still out on that. You don't know if it's taken from you until it's actually taken from you. You know what I'm saying? Because different people are willing to do different things to keep what's theirs. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's like a freaking philosophical question, because you could have every possession in the world and have it secured to where nobody can take it, and you walk down the stairs and fall and lose your life.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, I get that, AM, but I'm saying in a land where there's a such thing as eminent domain, where in a land where we pay taxes on the goods and services we buy, and then we pay taxes on the things that we have, and then there's certain things, you know what I'm saying, as far as do we ever really own the land? And the answer is really no, we never really own the land. Even if you pay off your house, you never really own it, because who could own the earth? You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of little things like that. You know what I mean?
You never owned it in the first place.
Right. But you pay for it as if you know what I'm saying? People say you buy a house, or you pay for this or whatever.
No, see, here's the thing, like, not you, but people in general, they kind of look at this the wrong way, right? So you're not paying to own it. You're paying to basically keep someone else from taking it from you. You get what I'm saying? Like before we had any of that type of structure, right? Because it's a double-edged sword any way you look at it, right? Before we had any of that type of structure, as far as land ownership, deeds, all of those different things, right? If somebody wanted something, they took it from you through force, through violence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's really messed up because, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It's like there's no real solution to that problem. So you kind of find yourself
in a quandary.
meeting in the middle, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm paying
Right.
for this
Right.
land. I'm paying for this land. I'm never really truly gonna own it, but because I'm paying for it, you can't just, the average person can't just walk up and put their shit on it. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, what can you do? It's the closest thing you can have to like if you go somewhere else, let's say you go to another country, right? And let's say they have a structure where you can buy the land and you actually own the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, cool, but where is the land at? Like, how valuable is it? You know what I'm saying? Because like,
I don't think that land exists even in other. I could be mistaken, but you know, I remember you were saying breaking down China, but I think after 5 years or 10 years or something like that, it goes back to the government. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lease for real.
So that answers your own question. Is
so the problem is this, right? The problem is this. Unfortunately, you can't have a society like that, right? Because if you think about it like this, if you had a society where somebody buy the land, they definitely own it, and there's nothing you could do to take it from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this day and age, a lot of us wouldn't be able to get no land.
Yeah.
So many people came before us that already had land. You see,
Right.
so it's like you can look at it from the pessimistic side where it's like, well, shit, I'm never gonna really own anything. But then you could also look at it from the optimistic side where it's like, bro, if those things wasn't in place, a lot of land would never get freed up for you to even cop the land to be able to put a house on and live on and stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So it's
a double-edged sword situation, rock and hard place. Seem like, hey, some dude, I didn't forget, man. Shout out to you, man. You owe me money, so yeah, until you pay me, I'm not letting you up here. I love you though. Peace.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not, look, and here's my thing, because you know, anybody listening to the back and forth between me and Zero, I'm not trying to make excuses for America and how America's structured, right? But if you know the history of the world, as flawed as the American system is, it's the best thing that we've had so far, even with all of the goofy stuff in it. And you got to start asking the question, can you even have it without the goofy stuff? Can it even exist without the goofy stuff? And the only reason why I say this, right, is because when you have situations going on right now that, in my opinion, because I had this conversation with my wife, I said, you want to know what's crazy? I said, a lot of the stuff that's going on right now wouldn't be going on if white folks were still as racist as they used to be.
Sure would.
So it's like a catch-22 where it's like, okay, you get less white people to be racist, but then the moment they start to be less racist, then a new problem presents itself because they're less racist. You feel what I'm saying? And then you have black people get more freedom, and then boom, a new problem presents itself, because before, when black people had less freedom and had a common enemy and a common goal, we were more close-knit. The moment we get more freedom, now all of a sudden, boom, black people starting to separate and families ain't close to each other no more. So like every time we start to solve a problem, it creates another problem. So it's like, what can you do? You feel me?
Yo, go ahead, Zero. I think you was trying to get in. Were you trying to get in there, Zero?
So let me tell you my frustration with these conversations. With these conversations, a lot of times, right? They're very political, and I don't come from it from a political angle. So it's like when he came up earlier and he was saying about people leaving, or black people leaving or running away from America. I don't look at it like that, right? I don't look at wealth the way that y'all are talking about wealth, right? I think any kind of ownership that I have, I'm looking to leverage it toward greater wealth acquisition in the future. So I'm not looking to plant my feet plant my flag, nowhere, especially in unstable systems. And the majority of people that's really moving money and is really going outside of the United States, they don't think in this political. They're not moving just because of politics. They're moving because the level of inflation is dropping the bottom out of the U.S. dollar like it ain't no tomorrow. And you want to go to a place where that's not happening. You want to go to places where the corporate tax is 1% as opposed to what they're taking out of you in the United States. So it's like, some people are looking at this politically. I don't never look at it like that, in a political manner, because you don't know what's going on. I live for the now, right? So whatever I get, I'm getting it to leverage it to greater, wealth in the future. So it's not about, I want this land, I want to plant my flag, I'm going to fight and bleed on this. Nah, America is a cash cow right now. The world knows it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm using it like everybody else is using it as a cash cow, and I'm going to other places to protect my, assets and making sure I'm not bleeding like everybody else is. The majority of the reason why Black people in the United States aren't making moves is because they're paying so much out that they don't have to pay out. You understand? They're not using it. They're not using wealth properly. So, I mean, I just want to say that and withdraw. I don't look at it like I just want to own something. I want to keep it. I want to pass it down for generations. None of that.
Right? It's like that movie, The Network. Remember that movie, The Network, where the guy was talking about all this, exposing the conspiracy, and then he meets the boss of the network. And he tells him, like, you're thinking about nations. That's a world of the past. The world now is a business. And basically that's what it is right now. There's no longer nationalism, all this nationalism, all you're owing it to. There's none of that. The world is a business now.
But it's been a
Yeah, I
business
was
from the
gung ho
beginning.
for America at one time. But ever since NAFTA came into play, I started seeing that, oh, okay, when I owned land in Florida, I couldn't own the mineral rights to some very important pieces of property. And it's like it's a totem pole there. So if you're not shaking and moving and rubbing elbows with certain people on certain levels, you might own the surface land or whatever, but somebody can come in and mine the minerals right from underneath you. That's not going on in a lot of other countries. You understand it? Like they don't have that complex usury system that they have in the United States. And a lot of times people leave because they want to have intergenerational money, not because they just trying to run from some powerful quote unquote white man or political system or anything like that. Political systems shift. You know what I'm saying? They shift, dramatically. So nobody is like really trying to plan 30 years based on what they think a political system will be. You out here trying to get as much as you can and keep it. You understand? So everything is not political about people just leaving America because, it's the white man system or none of that. Anybody who's got any sense is going outside of the United States to make money. The US dollar, if you move and shake and move outside of the United States, you'll realize how much value the US dollar has lost in the last 30 or 40 years.
And what difference did that make?
That's a great importance. You understand? Because you can't, for instance, $1 million doesn't buy you what $1 million might have bought you, 20, 30 years ago.
$1 million
You understand? It's all about.
It's not supposed to.
Right.
It's not
Right, but you said what difference does that make? The difference is the level of bleed. How fast you're bleeding.
Let me break
It's
something.
like if I poke you, it's like if I poke you with a knife and you put a pack on to stop the bleeding, you have a better chance at living, right? If I don't have anything to stop the bleeding, if I don't have anything to replace blood or whatever, you understand, I'm going to have more of a chance at dying and not surviving and not having enough to pass over to my next generations. On top of that, in the United States, there's a death tax on whatever you want to pass over. So it's like the people that you leave it to only get a fraction. That's not happening in other places. Sometimes you got to place your money in other places if you really, really about your family
Where is the
members
tax?
and your progeny. Say again?
Where's the tax going? You gotta ask yourself that too, right? There's the whole Israel thing, funding Israel. I mean, right now, American planes are in the air space of Iran at the behest of the Israelites. That's U.S. tax dollars.
See, this is what I mean, bro. This is what I mean when I say goofy.
Yeah, like yo, what?
This is what I mean when I say goofy, bro.
I
Like
don't
y'all,
have tax.
Hold on,
Donald Trump
hush.
said it.
Hold on, man. Go ahead, AM, man. Shout out to Hobby Waddy. Damn, man. What country you was reaching the country?
here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing, right?
Oh my god.
Here's the funny thing, right? What's so funny is like I'll be up here on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, talking, doing what I do, right? And then you'll have cats that say stuff like, yo, what I'm out here doing is real, and the only thing y'all doing is, y'all on YouTube just running y'all's mouths and talking and da, right? And it's funny because it's amazing to me how limited niggas is in they thinking. You're so limited in your thinking. Like what y'all talking about right now, you're fighting over accumulating computer components and talking about which computer component is valuable and how valuable it's going to be in this location or that location and blah, blah, and all of that, right? Meanwhile, and you're talking about governments, you never know what a government is going to do in the next 30 years and blah, blah, all of that. None of that shit matters. None of that
It
shit
does
matters.
if I
Wait,
told you I owned land and
brother, hold on, man. Please, brother. Let him finish his statement first before you respond. Go ahead, AM. My fault, man.
So, like I said, you're complaining about or talking about computer components. What brothers like
no.
myself.
Hold on. Go ahead, AM. My fault. Go ahead. My fault. I'm muted.
Let whoever was trying to interrupt, just go ahead and let them talk.
Nah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Finish your statement. I wanted to hear what you guys to say. Go ahead, finish your statement, brother. My bad.
This is crazy, bro. Cause like y'all dudes just don't get it. It doesn't matter. None of that matters if the people, if your people, if your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, it doesn't matter if they ain't in the right state of mind. None of it matters. None of what you are like, all of the stuff you're talking about right now is a distraction. It's the Matrix. It's basically the Matrix. You're complaining about talking about computer components, the value of computer components, and blah blah blah. What I'm doing is what brothers like me do every day. We're writing software. That's the difference. That's the difference. See, the problem is dudes don't have enough foresight to look down the street. Like what difference do any of that make at the end of the day if in the next 100 years your people ain't in charge? Like we can sit here right now, we can talk about who's in charge. But who's gonna be in charge? Who's gonna be in charge down the road? See, some brothers, you get so caught up in your fight for what you get so caught up in your fight for what you're doing right now and what everything is the value of everything right now and where's the best place to be right now and blah blah blah, all of that, right? But you never think for 1 second, maybe what I'm doing right now might not be completely beneficial to me, but 100 years from now, my freaking offspring, the offspring of my offspring is in the position they in because of what I'm doing right now.
All right, let me let my man Zero respond to that. Go ahead, Zero. My fault. I just want y'all to be able to complete y'all thought.
You went into like computers and all of that. Let me ask you this, Angry Man. You know, you can answer it if you want it or not, right? How much taxes are you paying on $250,000 US?
Doesn't matter.
By the time you get it in your hand, how much taxes do you have to pay out into the system?
It doesn't matter.
Why not? I don't understand why that doesn't matter if we're talking about land, money, and investment. You understand? Because if I earn 250,000 US, right? If I earn 500,000 US, which is $1 million where I am, right? And I'm only paying 1% tax on it, that's a huge difference on my ability to do things.
How much tax
on my ability to leverage on my ability to leverage what it is that I'm putting out. Corporate taxes where I am are 1%, brother. You understand? Nike established themselves here where I am just for that same reason, so that they can do the same thing that I'm doing. So what I'm saying, 1% is a huge difference. If you're talking about 20, 30, 40, some people even paying way more than that in taxes, depending on whatever it is they're doing and how they're classified. So that gives you a lot more liquid cash ability to do things in hand, to invest in things over the year. And that's very important. I don't understand why something like that is not important, but the politics is important, and regimes change like people change their underwear.
Yeah,
why is the politics more important than the actual money?
That's why niggas don't rule the world. That's why niggas don't rule the world. Because the real leaders, they give you toys to play with, and you play with them toys like you talking right now. What type of money?
I talk.
Hold on, brother Zero. Come on, brother. He was quiet while you was talking. Let the brother finish the start, and then he was quiet while you was talking. Zero, come on, brother. Go ahead. Hey, I'm on fault.
How much money did Dr. King make every year? And how much did he pay in taxes on the money he made every year? Does anybody know?
I don't.
You know why nobody knows? Because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
And nobody gives a shit about Dr. King anymore.
Nobody bullshit.
What you mean? I can't agree with that.
That's the fact. That's the fact. I'll tell you why that's the fact.
Zero, how can you say there's a Martin?
I tell you why that's the fact. Why people don't anymore.
Wait. So there's not a hold on, Zero. There's not a Martin Luther King holiday. There's not a Martin Luther King boulevard on every street in the United States. There's not a Martin Luther King statue. There's not a Martin Luther King museum. There's not a Martin Luther King monument in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was assassinated. Like, what do you mean, brother?
He's missing the
point. None of that could do nothing. I'm gonna tell you. Let me explain to what I'm saying. None of that could do anything to keep him from being besmirched by your latest generations for what they put out about him now. You understand? The average all over the internet, they besmirch his reputation.
You see what I mean? It's impossible. It's impossible.
You're talking about what's happening just in the United States, and I'm talking to you about world. You know, you're talking about U.S. politics. That's what I was saying from the get-go, and I'm talking to you about how the world is moving.
I'm really,
and you're saying that Dr. King's legacy was
really not.
You're saying Dr.
1 second, Zero. 1 second, Zero. 1 second, Zero.
I'm really not talking about U.S. politics. I'm really not. I'm really
not. That's Dr. King.
Okay, hold on. Let him finish the thought, brother. Please let him finish.
So number one, Dr. King wasn't a politician.
It's U.S. politics, bro.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I just happen to see. This is what I mean by niggas, man. Y'all, bro.
It's geopolitics.
One second, Zero. Let the brother finish the thought, please, brother, please. And I still haven't seen the $5, brother. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on. We gotta Come on, let's do each other right, family. Jesus, Jiminy Crickets.
Like this is why, bro. You know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing else because I'm starting to realize in this moment right now, like I'm having a moment right now where I'm realizing, like, bro, niggas be thinking they smart and you're not. Like, you're not smart, bro. You're not. You're completely missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying. You even said it in your discussion, and you still don't get it. You said, yo, in the next 30 years, you don't know what government is going to be in charge. Like, yes, governments rise and fall. But you know what lasts forever? You know what spreads like a virus and creates movements and creates governments, creates regimes. Ideas, bruh. Ideas. So when you sitting up here talking about, oh, y'all niggas, all y'all doing is running y'all mouth or whatever, bro, what you're doing is cool. But that doesn't, bro. Martin Luther King may be getting besmirched by this new generation of idiots, but that doesn't negate the impact he's had on the entire world. Him and a bunch of other people. And the point that I'm trying to make is that when I name these individuals that had an impact on the world, it could be Dr. King, it could be Gandhi, it could be William Wallace, it could be any number of people that I'm naming. The point that I'm making is you don't know what kind of money they was using during that time. You don't give a shit how much taxes they were paying, or if they paid taxes, or if they bought land, or if they own land, or if they passed land down. Just like a few minutes ago, we're talking about Genghis Khan. We didn't even know that they lost whatever, but we know who Genghis Khan is. We know what his thought process, his ideology is. The point that I'm trying to make is that other groups of people focus on that. They're smart enough to focus on that while using the smoke screen of politics. Let me explain something to you to what's going on right now. Right now, as we speak, other groups of people, they are making sure that they feed and indoctrinate their people into a certain thought process. So basically right now, while we're focused on the game of Monopoly, they're sitting back telling their children and grandchildren how to create games of Monopoly. So when you're sitting here talking about, oh, well, we go over here and you know, we can get the mineral rights over here. And what difference did that make what difference do it make if you do all of that in 60 years from now, a dude that learned his ideology from somebody else comes and takes all of that shit? That shit is finite. That shit is limited. What's not limited is the thought process, the ideas, the philosophies that are spread amongst the people and then becomes viral and then causes people to think in a totally different way. So when you're talking about, see, a lot of y'all brothers, y'all go overseas, and then because you're a world traveler, you do the same thing we did when we was kids. Like when everybody was kids, a little kid, if his parents took him to Disney World, he would come back and brag to everybody else that he went to Disney World. That's what you niggas do when y'all get your passport. You go somewhere else, and then all of a sudden you're more intelligent and you're better than everybody else because you're a world traveler. And it's like, okay, cool, you're a world traveler. Now what? Now what? Now what? Meanwhile, if you look at any society throughout history, the movers and the shakers have always been the individuals that can get people to think a certain way. That's who really runs the world. That's who really changes shit. The people who can get people to think a certain way.
not people that's buying gold or silver or land or trying to get the mineral rights to this or trying to create this little group or that shit don't matter. It don't matter. It's cool to do, but in the long run, it don't matter. It don't matter at all. You talking about American politics. If you look at American politics right now, as much as everybody hates Donald Trump, he has forever changed American politics moving forward. Forever. Forever. And the same way he did that, somebody else, back in the day, somebody else changed it in a certain way. It just, at the end of the day, it's going to depend who has the bigger impact. That's really what it's going to boil down to. Who has the bigger impact? And I hate to tell you.
I hear what you're saying, but and this is why I disagree with what you're saying. You act like that Martin Luther King was just like an organic seed that was planted by himself and it just sprouted without Jewish lobby, without Israeli money behind them, without all kinds of money coming from all different sources put behind him and his movement. So much so that the King family doesn't even own the IP. There's so much investment in that image and in that in propagating and forwarding the propaganda around that image that it's not even owned by the children of King. So it doesn't. For you to say that the money doesn't matter is kind of ridiculous. The ideas don't spread without the money that's put behind the ideas for them to spread. And then what happens
give him
is,
one quick second to finish, and then you got it. Give him one quick second. Go
and
ahead.
And then what happens is when the money that's put behind these ideologies and these cults of personalities isn't quote unquote black money. Blacks lose the IP. They lose the control of the image. You understand? And what we're seeing now, as far as how they're besmirching his name and all of that now, is because that's loss of control of the image. You understand? Ideas don't go anywhere without some kind of finance and capital. Genghis Khan didn't conquer the world with zero money. You understand? He was a slave of the Jing dynasty before and raised up. They were running and robbing and all of that and building up, and they had to have money to finance what it is that they're doing. A lot of what we're seeing is like modern age propaganda put behind these people. And that's the reason why they're even, in your minds to this day, because it was taught to you through the school system. But to say that the way that people played their finances and money wasn't of great importance is kind of ridiculous, man. That's not even geopolitics. You understand that? That doesn't even make sense. That's altruism to an absurd degree. You understand? Like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? It has to have money. Hip hop had to have money to spread. You understand? And the people that put the money behind hip hop own the IPs, most of the biggest IPs in hip hop right now. So I don't understand where you're coming from and why you belittling, what I'm saying and acting like it's not even viable. That doesn't make sense. You understand? It's not like I don't consult.
Let him go ahead,
my
Angry
own
Man.
government.
You got to just address it. Dude talking about finite research. OG Angry Man is talking about the mind. This dude won't understand. Shout out to EB getting it. Go ahead, Angry Man. You got it. Appreciate you, EB.
So here's the crazy. This is what's so wild about this, right? Everything he just said, he think contested what I said, but it solidified my point. Why would they put money behind Dr. King? Why would they do that? Why would all of those groups, you remember when I said a little while ago, I said, while y'all niggas is playing the game of Monopoly, they're actually teaching their children how to create games of Monopoly. So then right behind that, you tell me about how another group utilized Dr. King, a black man, and put money behind his ideas. Why? Because everybody don't have the gift to move the crowd. Everybody don't have the gift to influence people.
That's why it's so laughable when I'm up here and niggas tell me, yo, we on the ground, we got boots on the ground and we doing this. Only thing you do, Angry Man, is talk. Yeah, but Angry Man influenced the entire culture. Not of America, the world. The entire trajectory of the world and culture has been changed because of the Black Manosphere. Point blank, period, end of discussion. So the point that I'm
Yeah, they
trying
can
to
pull the plug on that at any time, though. Angry
Well,
Man.
hold on. You can't put ketchup back in a bottle, nor can you put milk back in spilled milk back in a container. Go ahead.
You cannot, bro. You can shut down dudes. You can shut down groups. You can shut down organizations. You cannot shut down an idea, especially one that spreads like wildfire. We look. There's I can't remember if it was Confucius or whoever back in the day said, if you want to change culture, the easiest way to change culture is to change the language, to change the way people speak. Right now, as we speak, the conversation that was being had in 2008 by a handful of brothers on the internet is being had by the entire world right now. The entire world is having this conversation right now. The point that I'm trying to make is that why would somebody put money behind a Dr. King for him to speak to people? Because they knew he had the ability to push a message that would move the crowd. Why is it whenever someone has that gift, they're either commandeered, they're shut down, or whatever? Because there's nothing in this world more powerful than the ability to convey ideas and in an infectious way. That shit is more powerful than gold. It's more powerful than money. It's more powerful than any of that. In fact, it's so powerful that when you have somebody like Malcolm X, right? They'll look at a brother like that and they'll do everything in their power to make sure that that brother does not have no successor. Why? Why? You have, back in the day, you have dudes that became military leaders and then ultimately became leaders of their country or whatever. And then if somebody opposed them, they didn't just try to get rid of them. They tried to wipe out their whole lineage. Just out of fear that another one just like him would pop up from that bloodline. What I'm talking about is entirely different. Like right now, bro, right now as we speak, you Negroes can talk about moving to this country. You Negroes can talk about this. You can talk about it. You can talk about whatever. At the end of the day, my claim to fame is the fact that you got people all over the damn world having a conversation that I might have just had between me and Iz sitting in the damn car chopping it up. That's power. That's power. I don't care who, and I don't care where we're at currently. I don't care where we're at currently. Niggas can look at me and say, Angry Man, you ain't got no real power. It don't matter, nigga, because I'm not looking at right now. I'm looking at 100 years from now. That's the difference.
His name. Hey, shout out to Angry Man for your contribution to society and to the world. Yo, you got Cash Kid in Tanzania sitting there regurgitating some of your talking points and some of your verbiage to you, which is hilarious. Yo, shout out to Terrell A. Wright, $4.99. Information and ideas are what make people immortal. Shut down the physical institutions if you want, but infinite intelligence is undefeated. Bars. Yo, shout out to you, Terrell Wright. Shout out to AM. Yo, did you want to expound on that, AM, or did you want
No, what you said about Cash Kid is true. Like, bro, I've never, bro, if it were not for the internet, if it were not for us being able to connect all over the world, that dude would live his whole life and never know who I am or have any type of disagreement with me whatsoever.
or be saying none of your talking points either, because he wouldn't know.
Exactly. But now it's like because of this, and it's like, look, I'm not trying to belittle anybody. I'm merely trying to point out the fact that You deal with the tools that you have to do what you need to do. And in my personal opinion, I feel like there's a lot of brothers running around here trying to use a bunch of old tools that's out of date, irrelevant, don't even matter no more. Meanwhile, there's other people utilizing these new tools and creating whole movements. That's all I'm saying. Like, if there was brothers out here pushing certain agendas as hard as a lot of the red pill gobbledygook, you'd be amazed at how much shit you could accomplish. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Deborah Leonelli, $2 say he ironically making AM's point. Shout out to Lotus Flower. What's up, sister? How you doing? Long time no see. Lotus Flower in the building. How you speak to me? Deborah Leonelli said, Leonetti said 100. Hey, Vixen Forever. How you doing, good sister? Good to see you. Always good to see my sister. What's up, King Rooster in the building? What's going on, man? Kish Yardy Gaming Nation in the building. What's up, Kish Yardy? How you doing? He said, as Zero, if the US dollar is weak, then why is everyone trying to come to America and make and benefit from the US dollar? That's a question to you, Zero.
The case is that everybody isn't.
Go ahead.
The case in fact is everybody isn't just trying to, come. That's just a certain level of people that are living under certain means. Most of the people that are making money are not trying to just bust in. As a matter of fact, buying like a lot of the U.S. debt. So I don't know what the brother is talking about. Oh,
wait. Hold on. Wait, Zero. Hold on, real quick. I can't let you do that, brother. You're telling us as brothers that
you talking about like migrant. You talking about people that are already living like in deep impoverishment and deep indigence.
But that's
in the countries that
true. Hold on. But you recognize that regardless of their status, you recognize that there's millions and millions and millions and millions of those people that would give their left arm and their right leg to get in America, and they would delete whoever to get here, right? They there's a whole bunch of people.
But like I said, like I'm saying, I'm not saying it's not the case, but what I'm saying is that it's not. He said, and everybody, and that's not the case. Everybody is not trying to get in there. Only a certain class of people. That's why Trump and them are going through what they're going through now, trying to get a certain level of people out of the United States, because these are people that are living under certain in low economic classes that they feel aren't really adding to the overall, infrastructure of the United States. So most of the people that are coming here are people that are in deep economic indigence. You understand?
Well, that must be a lot of people in the world. That's a lot of people in the world. It's not, I mean, everybody is. Hold on real quick, y'all. Everybody.
And what you're saying is not far from the truth. A lot of people in the world are, that they do fall into that bracket. So what I'm saying is that the people that do have money and access to finances, they're buying American debt. They're not coming here just to make, money off of America or flip U.S. dollars. They're looking at the state that America is in, and they're, using speculation and making certain plays to buy American debt so that they can, use it to increase their wealth in the long run. What Angry Man was saying earlier, right? So this is what I'm saying, right? Yeah, those people did invest in Martin Luther King, right? The problem is that Black people do not own that IP anymore because those people invested in it. They have total control over that image, that likeness, where it goes. They can pull the plug at any time. I'd rather not be in a position where somebody can just pull the plug at any time on me. You understand? I don't want to be a Fat Joe. I don't want to be a Diddy Pauls. I don't want to be in that predicament of where I took all of this money from people to invest in my idea, to push my idea, to spread my idea across the world, only for them to pull the plug when I come into a certain disagreement with them. And that's the position that most people are in. I'm not. Say again.
Yeah,
I'm asking Izzy Bands if because he's gonna be long with it. I just want to answer.
Well, let him complete that thought. That was an interesting thought. Let him complete that thought, and then absolutely, you got next, Yardy. Go ahead, complete that thought, brother.
No, I'm a fall back. That's what I'm talking about. The altruism is great. You know, the ideology is great. You know, it takes a good balance of money and ideologies to make that thing move. But what's more important is having total control of it, so nobody can come along later, unplug it and besmirch it and wipe it away. This new streaming IRL generation that's making mega dollars, they don't care about none of that. And that's just what's real. And they don't care about, you know what I'm saying, none of that, because they're putting themselves in the positions to get their the money up and to see things outside of the parochial point of views that they were raised in. And that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, you know, run away and none of that. I'm saying stretch. That's all I'm saying. And when you stretch, you see more things. You know, yeah, ideas spread, but we see many people. Lil Wayne was on top of the charts a few years ago. What do that mean now? You know, a lot of people were spreading all types of ideologies and style and swag and, you know, information years ago. It doesn't mean anything if the newest generations are not going to just take it, absorb it, and carry it on. It's just gone. And it's gone because other people control the IPs and they unplug it. You understand? At will, because they own it. Black people don't own it. And that's all I'm saying.
You got it, Yardy.
I think he said he made the argument about that the people are coming into America. They're the poor people that's coming into America, right? I think that's what he said. Well, those people are coming in here and they're improving their lifestyle and they're sending that money back to those countries to improve the country back home from where they come from. If you want to take it to from the poor people, you still have countries doing business with America, from China and other superpowers doing business with America. So the dollar can't be so weak if they're still doing business with America and benefiting from that business deal, right? And then you have certain countries.
The dollar is weak.
Hold on. You still
I'm
have.
sorry.
Hold
Okay,
on. You say the dollar's weak, but people are still doing business with America and making money off of them, making benefits off the American dollar. And then you still have I lost the thought, but you have certain countries that still needs the American dollar to back them in whatever fight they're doing. I'm not gonna say their name on Israel and on Izzy Band's platform, but right now they still need America's backing. If the dollar was so weak, why are people still doing business with America? And second, are you in the States?
You asked the question, right?
Are you in the States?
You asked. Let me answer the first question.
Go ahead.
Let me answer the first question. You said why they're still doing business with America is because they're speculating and they're earning. It's like a fire sale, a liquidation sale, right? People are coming here buying up as much as they can because they're buying up the U.S. debt. It's like all of these ideas that you're talking about. Foreigners with money are coming here, financing those ideas, and they owning the debt. You understand? Like that's what's happening here. You understand? It's not. See, it's like I can't. Like this is not a financial class, and we don't have a time to to get so deep into this. As far as
but let me ask you another question.
I'm not saying that they.
So
I'm not saying that.
So wait. So are you in America right now, or are you in overseas?
I'm moving in and out, all over.
Okay. So are you gonna still use the American dollar to supplement you while you're overseas?
I'm never do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you have a certain image in your head of things that's going on, but I never do that. I don't use that to supplement. Matter of fact, I don't want to get into all of that, but I don't even deal, you know what I'm saying, on that level.
But you do agree but you would say that
where I am.
Go ahead.
Where I am, crypto is where I am. Crypto is highly accepted.
Is the American dollar where you accepted too?
Yeah, it is, but it's like it's not really making no You asked about me. It's not making no yay or nay plays in whatever it is that I'm doing. Yeah, it is. It's accepted all over the place. You understand? But it's not. It's not what you're thinking, and it's not the way that Americans think about it. They think that everybody is dependent on that U.S. dollar, and it's not. As a matter of fact, Chinese make way more moves in most of the regions that I'm in. They run way more things.
Yeah, but a
You
lot of
barely
those
see a
Chinese,
U.S.
but
Let me finish. Let me
in
finish. Let me
go
finish.
ahead.
You barely see a U.S. automobile in most of the regions that I'm frequented. A brother from Guyana can even probably attest to that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Chinese, automotive movement, all types of things going on, in these regions. So it's like
Yeah,
it's
but you
not the way
do
you think
know,
now.
you do.
A few years ago, the U.S. dollar was big and bad, but right now it's like 2 to 1,
A few years ago, the U.S. dollar was big and bad. That's how the Chinese
like
became
5.
billionaires. You
One,
had
one
you had
second, one mic, y'all. Go ahead, y'all.
you had a billionaires world where Chinese were making money off of the U.S. dollar, becoming capitalists. That's how they've been able to get big and bad like they have been right now.
Right, we not arguing that. They took advantage. They took advantage, like I said, of U.S. debt. You're not saying nothing that I didn't say that exactly. They played the game.
No,
But
they
they
did not.
still
They,
they
they
still
didn't.
benefited from it, though. That's what I'm trying to
They,
say.
they
My fault.
didn't. They didn't take advantage of U.S. debt. That's not what they did. What they did is they took advantage of the United States utilizing them as a manufacturing base, and in addition to that, they double dipped by encroaching upon their on a company's intellectual property by selling those
Bootleg.
damn goods, bootlegging shit.
Yeah,
That's
That's
what I'm saying. This is why most companies, when you go to
So,
go to,
so you're
well,
so
no,
you're
wait,
telling me
wait,
One
that the
mic.
hold on.
Chinese.
Hold on, real quick. Zero. Let Yardy finish this thought, and then you got next.
This is why when you go into a company, they have you sign a contract. I forgot what the name of the contract is.
It's a non-compete clause.
Non-compete clause, because they know that that's what the Chinese have been doing, and they don't want you bringing that information to the Chinese. That's why that clause is to protect the business intellectual property.
Go ahead.
So
Zero.
are you saying that you're telling me that uh, China doesn't own the great majority of U.S. debt right now?
China doesn't own what?
A great majority of U.S. debt right now? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, Dark Savage, he can pay me in Bitcoin. I take it in Bitcoin. He gonna pay me, man. The brother, he can't. He on a global phone, so he gotta wait till he get off the phone to pay me. He's a man of his word. He gonna pay me. Go ahead, family. I apologize about that.
Are you? I'm just saying. It's like you're saying the same things that I'm saying, but then you're saying that I'm not right about what I'm saying. So you're telling me that the great majority of the United States debt isn't owned by China.
But you're talking as if them buying debt is what put them where they're at. That's
It
not
did
that.
because it gave them control
Hold on,
over U.S. assets.
Zero. Hold on, real quick, brother. You asked him a question, and then when he's answering, then you're talking over his answer. You can't. Let's don't do that, brother. Please. Go ahead,
That's,
AM, and then Zero got next.
that's not totally accurate. Okay, you're leaving pieces of the puzzle out of it. Okay, like for instance, in New York, you have Billionaires Row, where you have these massive buildings that have these multi-million-dollar condos or penthouses that nobody lives in. The reason why nobody lives in it, because Chinese nationals will come over to America, they'll purchase that property, they won't live in it, and then they'll leverage it in order to make more money. So what we're talking about is not just China buying American debt, it's China taking advantage of America in more ways than one. Okay, the reason why the Chinese back in 2017 was churning out 6 billionaires a week is because they took full advantage of a number of things. One, they took advantage of the way the tariffs were set up. Chinese were charging us a ridiculously high tariff, and we wasn't really charging them a little bit of nothing. Not to mention the fact that we can't sell our products in China the way they sell their products here. We're limited to the amount of products that we can sell in China. Meanwhile, they can sell all their products here, in addition to the fact that the corporations over here try to utilize them for cheap labor, but that ended up backfiring in their face, because now Gucci got to compete with the Chinese manufacturers that's putting out their own Gucci bags on websites, and even in the stores over there. They have stores in shopping centers over there that sell these products that are not even authorized by the person that owns that IP. So you got that. And look, here's the thing about China, right? If anybody knows anything about the Chinese economy, if it wasn't for them manufacturing the majority of American products and stuff, their economy would go down in flames. This is the reason why they got all of them freaking abandoned cities over there, where they got all of these buildings nobody lives in. You feel what I'm saying? Like, China is where they're at because they took advantage of some loopholes and some bullshit, and it's time for it to stop. And it's funny to me because now that there's actually somebody trying to put a stop to it, all of a sudden Americans actually give a damn about China. Like, shit is goofy.
All right,
well, I wasn't even. My mind wasn't even dealing about the Gucci bags and things. America lost a lot of its assets to China. Even when you're talking about the Panama Canal, right? I was talking earlier about how through Central and South America, you used to be able to see all types of American goods moving all back and forth, all throughout, being traded all throughout Central and South America. You don't see that anymore. You see Chinese brands, you see Chinese vehicles, you see Chinese trucks, and the reason is because they were able to leverage that debt into taking over a lot of the properties and acquiring ownership of a lot of the things that the United States used to have ownership over in Central and South America. And they don't have that power anymore here. You understand? So what you're saying is true about the Gucci bags and all of that, and that's all well and fine. But the way that they were able to do it was acquiring U.S. debt and then taking on and buying a lot of the things that were foreclosed upon that America couldn't pay on.
Yo, here's the thing, bro. This is the shit that annoys the crap out of me. Y'all gotta stop talking about these other countries like they're doing.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about bags, right?
Wait.
I'm talking about food. I'm talking about garbage trucks.
Zero. Can you hear? Hold on, real quick.
First of all, I'm not talking about Gucci bags, you moron. I'm talking about American products, not just Gucci bags. That was just an example.
All right, y'all.
Some Negroes cannot be this slow. I'm talking about intellectual property. Again, ideas. I'm talking about intellectual.
Right, but what power? What we're talking about.
One second, y'all. Come on, man. One mic, man. Come on, bro.
Bro, I'm talking about, first of all, the Chinese are not doing good business. They a bunch of snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Flat out.
So what you gonna do about it? So let's talk about that.
So guess what?
My point.
Wait, one second.
Guess what? You fucking traitor.
Wait, come on, bro.
Thank you.
I pay the shit. Guess what?
Come on, bro. We don't got to do that.
No, he's a traitor. Period.
Wow, I'm asking you.
Somebody start calling this out. See, it's so many niggas that hate America that they love to big up these other countries that don't give a shit about them. You think you think China care about your black ass? You sound crazy right now.
You read all of that into it. My basic question was, so what?
About it. What you gonna
do anything about it?
What you gonna do about it? You know how stupid you sound even saying that to me?
point is, I don't understand that that's the point. What are you going to do about it, bro?
That's not the point. You being a
Are you
spiteful
gonna head
nigga.
it
That's the point.
away? Or are you
Point
going to
is-
keep talking about how bad they are and how snaky they are and how they tricked you and how they played you?
I am point. Yo, fam, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't somebody say
That has nothing to do with
One
that
second,
What you worried about?
Zero. Come on, bro. 1 second, man.
fam, you said you was a U.S. citizen too, right? You a citizen of China? Are you a citizen of China? See, the funny thing about this is what I was talking about earlier is 100%. When I said the people that got the real power is the people who are influence peddlers, the people who push ideas. Because half the reason why a bunch of you Negroes think the way you think is because communism was allowed to be infiltrated into our damn country. You niggas is a bunch of commies, bro. Every time I look up, you got so much shit to talk about America, the damn country you was born in, but you got your tongue all the way up the ass of China, Russia, and every other damn country. Why you don't live there? Why you don't
throw
live
a lot of air time in them attacks, but they got the ball. What you gonna do about it?
Why you don't
That's
live
my
in
question.
Why you don't
They
live
got
in
the ball. They got the ball. What you gonna do about it?
Hey, I don't gotta do nothing about it. You know why? You know why I ain't gotta do nothing about it? Because Donald Trump is president. That's why I don't gotta do nothing about it. Look, check this out. Hold on, check this out. Let me ask you a question, bro.
What's up?
Let me ask you a question, right?
What's going on?
Are you really gonna sit here and not acknowledge that this Negro right here is being completely hyperbolic? This nigga said to me, what are you gonna do about it? Do you have any idea how ridiculous that is? He's asking me what I'm gonna do about China like I'm Captain America or some shit. I'm not
the one arguing about it, yelling about it. You the one heated about it.
Well, 1 second.
You sound like a black woman right now, bro.
It's like I'm Captain
That's some
America.
shit a black woman would say. And I knew that's your thought process when you said that goofy shit earlier, talk about black men can't protect their women in America. Yo, you sound like a black woman, my nigga. You sound like a whole strag over there, nigga. Yo, goofy ass, nigga. I ain't know you was that goofy. You goofy, nigga. Talking about what I'm gonna do about it like I'm the last son of Krypton or some shit, nigga.
Bro, you a keyboard warrior. You would never say that in my presence. You would never say that in my presence.
I got you. We don't got
And I'm worried about what you're saying because you would never say it in my presence.
Yo, let me ask you a question, my nigga. Who you think scared of you?
No, come on, man. We ain't got to even do that. That's not
You would never act this way in my presence.
brothers.
Brothers,
we ain't got to do that.
You.
We don't have to do that, brothers. Please.
Ain't nobody scared of you.
It's not about that. You just wouldn't act that way in my presence. And that's a fact.
You don't know what I do in your presence.
Okay, brothers.
You don't know what I do in your presence. You don't know me like that, my nigga.
All right, we'll find out.
No. We don't need to find out. Come on, brothers. Let's
love to make little statements like you know somebody. Bro, calm your ass down. Relax, man, because I don't agree with you.
I'm not worried about that, man. People don't have to agree or disagree, man. You know, you the one hollering and yelling and acting all crazy right now. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, you wouldn't act that way. You would not act that way in my presence. That's what's that.
I'm a grown man. I can act how I want to act, bro.
You would not act that way in my presence. You will not act that way outside of virtual space.
About my shit. I will do whatever I want to do, nigga. You just another ignorant ass nigga making threats.
It's not a threat. I just know for a fact what the real is.
Nigga, ain't nothing new. You just another ignorant nigga making threats on the internet.
It's not a threat. I just know what the real is, bro.
Shut up.
I know what the real is, bro.
Then shut up if
it ain't virtual. It ain't virtual.
Then shut up if it ain't a threat.
Brothers, can we
it ain't virtual.
Hey, let's take a brief moment, a brief commercial break, brothers. Jesus, Jimmy the Crickets. If we could not take it here, I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Bill.
That's the main reason. That's the main reason why white folks don't take you niggas seriously. It ain't racism. It's because whenever you don't agree with somebody, you
They
want to
take you serious. They take you serious. They
throw a
take you
damn.
serious.
Look at you. Look at you. You mad now because don't nobody agree with you. Don't nobody want to go live in the damn jungle with you, nigga. Shut up. You a whole damn clown, my nigga. Don't nobody want to live in the damn jungle fighting a bunch of damn mosquitoes and jaguars, nigga.
And gorillas and shit.
About, nigga.
I hate y'all. Come on, bro.
Your goofy ass. You come up here like you coming from Mount Olympus to bring us the good news, like Moses and shit. I found the promised land, brothers. Shut your goofy ass up, nigga. Now what? What you gonna do besides be mad?
We'll see.
Because you agree with somebody, you'll never say that in my face. Now you threatening niggas because you don't agree. But
I didn't say you wouldn't say. I said you would not act that way in my presence, bro.
But you're supposed to be intellectual, right?
You wouldn't. Right? You wouldn't act that way in my presence.
Live up to the stereotype, nigga. Live up
we
to
don't
the stereotype.
We don't. That foolery don't exist where I am, man.
But you can't handle with your thoughts. You handle with your hands, right?
It's not about that. It's you wouldn't act that way.
Ass nigga. You an ignorant ass nigga.
You act that way. You wouldn't act that way. You'd be way more respectful.
You an ignorant ass nigga, period. You an ignorant ass nigga.
You understand? You'd be way more respectful. You wouldn't act that way, bro.
Ass nigga, period.
I'm disappointed in you, bro.
Nah, I'm disappointed in you, nigga.
Beto Nation was popping. Free agents, what up, though? Shout out to y'all brothers, come on.
Because you disagree with a nigga. Oh, you'll never say that in my presence. How the hell you know that?
You wouldn't. I just know you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I'm in your presence right now, nigga.
Not really. You're virtual.
I really am. I really am. I really am. I say this to you, nigga.
It's all virtual. This all keyboard shenanigans. You know?
I would say this to you in person, my nigga. In person.
I doubt it.
Yeah, brothers, I would.
I really doubt it.
Brothers,
I absolutely would.
Wait, hold, brothers. Y'all are stressing me out.
The world works in interesting ways, so it might be an opportunity for that.
I would no opportunities
to your face. I would absolutely say it to your face.
Brothers, please. Yes.
Absolutely.
What?
Ask the chat who sounds like a B-dub right now. Ask the chat.
Man, nah, I'm just
yeah, that's wild. This nigga is bugging.
This nigga bugging. He out of here. Yo, shout out to Dark Savage, $10. Zero only postures against Black Americans as if he's better, but don't really want to help. A sister asked for help from him, and he refused to give her a direct answer. He's a fraud. That's what Dark Savage said. Thank you for the $10.
Yeah, okay. That don't really make a lot of sense. The thing is that this is something that people have to understand, right? You know, it's of my choice on how to do whatever it is I do on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I do it is the way that I do it. You know, it's not about, I gave her a lot of help. And I guarantee you she'll come back later and tell you, you know, I gave her everything she needed. I guarantee you she'll come back and interact. I gave her my space as well. So I guarantee you she'll come back and tell you how much we helped her. So it ain't about the show for y'all. Everybody ain't showman. I'm a go-man. I ain't a showman.
Shout out to you, my brother. You know I got much love for you. I hate that y'all brothers are going back and forth. I think it's like you know what I'm saying?
It's not a back and forth thing right now. It's really not, man. I'm not going back and forth with the brother. I just know about the laws of nature, the energy of everything that brother will not act that way around me. I just know.
Why do you keep going back to that zero, please, bro?
You goddamn lie. You don't know what the fuck I would do in your presence.
Man.
God damn.
Man, you said all the F-bomb. All right, yo, Zero, I got love for you. They dropped you down for 15 minutes. They didn't want you arguing with Angry Man.
Hold on, fam. You don't know me.
But they dropped him down, Angry Man.
You don't know shit about me. You niggas gonna get enough of getting on this damn internet making threats. You don't know me, G.
All right.
Stop
Hey,
playing with a grown ass man just like you.
We're not doing that. Hey, yo, Zero, they dropped you down for 15 minutes, okay? Shout out to you. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Shout out to home of the official YouTube purge. What's up, Auntie? Said woosah. I was trying to woosah, brother. I was trying to woosah. They don't want to let me woosah. Hey, because of that person who dropped my man Zero and my people's, y'all got me all discombobulated, man. There, I hate that, man. A Dark Savage. We just need 2 more people to reach our goal. Help us reach our goal. Angry Man owed me $1 million. Angry Man owes me $1 million because he said 1 million F-bombs. Y'all heard him? Y'all heard Angry Man say all them F-bombs? He owes me $1 million. And Zero owed me $5. And Angry Man owed me $1 million. All the F-bombs. Come on, brothers. Let's show love. We gotta start showing love, man. We all we got. Shit. All right. Are we good now? We good?
Oh, niggas kill me with that, thinking they gonna make threats and shit. Nigga, you ain't the first soldier to threaten me.
Brother. I want us to be good. Yo, shout out to Emperor Kojak 303 the Great. You know what to do, Izzy. Shout out to my brother Emperor Kojak 303 the Great. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Emperor Kojak. Let's listen to the sounds of Emperor Kojak 3 theme song. Let's go.
Got his own money. And baby, when I tell you he's got his own money, I mean the boy has got his own money.
Yo, shout out to Emperor Kojak 303 the Great. He said, Emperor Ko said, all hell the Supreme Emperor Kojak 303 the Great. Either bow down and get put down, biatches. Dilly. Hey, yo, because of Emperor Ko, we just need 1 more person, I think. At least $5. Please help us reach our goal today. Shout out to Mayor, preferably through the Cash App. Y'all hit me in the Cash App in the back. You know what I'm saying? Hit me the Cash App, support the show. Mayor 963 said the world is an exchange market. Shout out to Mayor 963. Everybody comes to America to come up. There's never been a problem. It's a problem when they bypass America's immigration laws just to ignore any other one that may be in their way. Okay. Shout out to Blackhawk said the white. No, we're not reading that. Shout out to you. Shout out to Build Free said Build Free Media 303 said Beto Nation. What's popping? Free agents. What up though? Shout out to that. All right. I think we good. Wait, yo, Kish Yardy said I read that. Okay, we good. Reset. What's good? Y'all good? Y'all better? Everybody got it out? Hey, Vixen Forever. How you doing, sister? Y'all good?
No, we ain't better.
Oh, shit.
You're talking about what I would say in somebody's presence. Bro, I'm former fruit of Islam. I say exactly what I want to say to any grown man. Fuck is we talking about?
Brother, are you going to say all the F-bombs?
Damn.
Yo, hey, what are you going to say? Yo,
Got the bread.
Oh, that shit up. Hey, are you going to say all the F-bombs? Are you going to say them all, bro?
I ain't scared of nobody but God, nigga. What is we talking about?
Why can't I get you to laugh?
That in my presence, like who he supposed to be?
Why can't you let that go?
Because he didn't let it go. He kept saying it over and over again.
Oh man,
he didn't let it go, and I ain't threatening him. He the one making the threats.
I don't think the brother was threatening. I hope he was.
That was a threat. I know a threat when I hear one.
Shout out to Ronnie. He said, "Nigga, it's more." Yo, come on, man. Damn, I can't read that, Ronnie. Shit, get out of here. Delete that. All right. Yeah, no doubt. Auntie, no problem, man. Hey, man, I'm a fair brother.
Man, because somebody don't agree with him. Get out of here.
Yeah, because we love America and he don't.
What if? So let me ask y'all a question though. On a serious note, right? If this shit turned upside down and they try to turn this back to the slave ship, y'all still gonna love America? What we talking about? Y'all still gonna love America?
I'm
I'm
not
there too.
answering that.
Why not? I want to know. I'm serious. I'm dead ass. I mean, hey, I love America too, but I'm just wondering if the shit switch or flip or whatever the case may be, do we still love it and we just fight for it? What we
Oh
doing?
yeah, you just said it. If you love it, fight for it. So why not fight for it? We fighting for what America is today, not what it's going to become, or we're trying to fight to make America great, not switch it back or regress.
Okay. When we up here like the Terminator, fighting. Hey, Vixen Forever said, nah, is they still gonna be gang banging, gang. Yo, AM, did you hear that Smokey Robinson song, son? You heard Smokey Robinson? Smokey Robinson said, they drinking that wine, gang banging. Yo, shout out to Tattoo Mills. He said, we here. Shout out to you. Welcome. Gang banging.
Question. Better question is,
You ain't got no
are
better
you sure
question.
it hasn't happened already?
Nigga, you ain't even get in
What?
the club. How you hating from outside the club? You can't even get in. You can't ask me that question. You ain't even in here. I asked the brothers that's here. I ain't asked you that.
I told you, who are you asking?
You
But you
can't
be
hate from
vague,
outside.
bro.
You
You be
can't hate from
vague.
outside the club, man. You can't even get in. What you mean? Yo? What you mean? Shout out to Coach for $5 for my F-bomb and the bros who were building. And shout out to you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Coach Ferg. Thank you, Terrell. Smokey need to be locked up for that music. Smokey had on the
But
blue.
that question needs
It's
to
some
be
Lee. Hold
directed to
on, man. I'm
someone
talking
in
about
particular.
man. Hold on. I'm talking about Smokey Robinson in his Lee jeans, man. He had on the blue hoodie AM, and he had the blue what's the name of that shit? A Navy. What's the name of that shit? What's that shit? The Navy company. He had the blue plain Old Navy joint with the Lee jeans on. You're drinking that wine, smoking that bud. Gang. Yo, you gotta see that shit. Yo, if you ever want to laugh,
Yo,
for the
is
rest, yo, hold on real quick. Yo, I got you, DJ. Yo, AM, if you ever want to laugh for the rest of your life, you gotta see that. Yo, what's up, DJ? What's up?
yo, is I'm about to dip. I want to keep the simulcast running. Could you please end it for me, bro?
Okay, I appreciate you, man. No doubt. Salute to my guy, DJ Witch Doctor. Y'all make sure if y'all not subscribed to DJ Witch Doctor, y'all subscribe to DJ. Was it the Gang Banging song from Smokey Robinson that did it, DJ Witch Doctor? That's pretty horrible.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. Since Angry Man calmed down, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I was feeling energized just now when he was angry. You know what I'm saying? Now he's chilling. I'm about to go get some rest.
In other words, you was with the shits and the shits is over, so you get it.
Right.
All right,
All right,
man.
salute to all of y'all, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, Salute. Appreciate you, man. Peace.
All right.